like Goldilocks. All right. Let's see. Oh, I can see myself on the blips, and you can try to hear yourself.
What about mine?
Okay, we get a little closer.
What about mine?
I see you got the captain's chair. I like. Actually, you know what? Wait, I didn't turn on the damn microphone. Hang on. There, it's better. All right.
What about now? There I am.
There you are. And then if you could actually push it a little closer to yourself.
What about now?
That's pretty good. How do you feel about it?
Ooh. Yeah.
Okay. All right. You're nervous.
I am.
Why?
I don't want to brag, but I haven't picked up the phone in many, many months. I've become a straight hermit.
Okay.
It was always a big goal of mine, and I am achieving that goal.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Good for you. I mean, I guess it's especially good regarding not being on social media and that sort of thing.
Yeah, I'm on there, but not too much.
Right.
Cut back significantly.
What is it? What are the good things? Obviously, it's been a goal of yours, but in what ways?
Just the pressure, and I never really liked being with people, even people I love and respect. And the only reason I didn't like it was because I never could just blend and chill. People that love me, people I love to death, I could never just chill and be part of a group. It's always draining. You always hear introverts talk about how it's draining.
Right.
It's always draining for me.
Right. And so it's been a conscious goal, not just a subconscious goal.
Oh, fully.
Absolutely. Very nice. How many years do you think?
When I finally was, I guess early on after I got sober, there's a lot of shit that goes on. People calling you, service commitments.
Uh-huh.
And my phone would just ring all the time with people that I didn't even like, like just...
Sure.
And it started to build up. And then I would try and kick it with even my friends, and it just never really clicked. And it just slowly over the years, just less and less and less.
Right.
And now my phone barely rings, and when it does, I still don't pick it up.
Is there an archetype in your mind that you're thinking of, like character-wise, that you are trying to, not trying to, but like emulating in some way or another? Because I see you as a similar to like a, let's see, almost like a Hermit James Dean, if you, especially with that fucking jacket.
Yeah, if I can get the best of both of those worlds, that'd be quite the achievement.
Is there ever been like, man, I want to be that motherfucker?
No.
Okay, it's just been like, I don't want to be around these people.
Yeah, and it's always just trying to be the most comfortable, the most free that there is. I'm doing a lot of things different as far as life choices go, but
okay,
that's just the way the cookie crumbled. Right. It's not like I didn't try. I put in effort. How much time can a man waste?
Spending time around people.
Doing things that aren't clicking, that aren't working. Just because what? I'm supposed to have this huge group of friends, or I'm supposed to be able to just go out and hang out with hella people.
Right.
I'm supposed to suffer through that because that's part of life. Like, that's not part of life.
Technically, yeah. It's similar, Ricky Gervais and that that other dude that he hangs out with, Carl.
Yeah.
Carl Pilkington? Anyway, he's very pragmatic in nature. He's very well, this doesn't make me feel good, and so I'm not going to do it. And I don't understand the social pressures of why I have to do it or have to believe something, which I seem to, part of the reason why I wanted to have you on is because of that, and the ideas of the social, sure, political, yeah, whatever, beauty that is being 100% actually libertarian and seeing things as like, you know what, I'm just going to do what I want to do. You know what I mean? And I don't feel the need to shit on other people for doing what they want to do, but I just want to do what I want to do, and ultimate freedom that way. And that's something to aspire to.
It's a luxury, and it's expensive.
It's expensive.
Ask anybody.
In what way do you think it's expensive? Like monetarily?
Social status, monetarily. Ask anybody with a roommate. Why don't you live alone? Sure, you may like a roommate. How often are you alone? In an environment that you enjoy, set up how you like,
right?
Doing whatever the fuck you want to do.
Yeah.
Not many people can say they have that.
Right.
No matter how little they want it. I happen to want it a great deal. That's just how I'm living right now. I'm totally open. Who knows,
Right.
If I know anything, it's tomorrow can be all different, but...
Right. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to episode 17 of Conservatish. And our guest today is Mark. Thank you for coming on, Mark.
Thanks for having me.
And last time I saw you actually was around a lot of motherfuckers at a show at the Legionnaire. And you had a friend with you. Mm-hmm. I don't know.
Oh, yes. The Z-Man. The Z-Man show.
Yeah.
And the U show, of course.
I think I did perform at that. Yes. I was very impressive, as always.
Mm-hmm.
I was incredible. And Z-Man is fucking crazy, man. Z-Man is a good performer. I like the way he does things.
Yeah.
I like that he's hip-hop, but he, like... What did I see him with, like, this tiny little, like, keyboard? With, like a tiny... like one of those kazoo type of keyboards as a kid. You blow into the... Right? Literally, like, made of plastic. He's willing to try new things, and that's something you don't see very often.
Oh, he's a nut. He's everything that I think of when it comes to Bay Area. The dude is a living legend as far as I'm concerned.
Right. A lot of people actually... I used to work at a Lens Crafters, and the manager there was friends with him, and she knew, like, she's not in the hip hop community, but she just knew, oh yeah, Z-Man, I know who the fuck that, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's, a lot of people know that guy. Yeah. When did you first hear of him?
It's been, decade plus?
Okay.
Below the surface. Barber Shane used to run some hip hop shops before he became Barber Shane, and...
Is Barber Shane an actual barber?
Yeah.
Okay.
Now he is. Back then he just ran the hip hop shop.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Did he barber on the side?
It became that. It was a hip hop shop, and then there was a hip hop shop and a barber chair. Whoa. And then there was a little less hip hop and a couple more barber chairs. And then the internet exploded, and it's all barber chairs now.
Nice. Do you want one of these, by the way?
No, I'm good with the Pellegrino.
Okay. I'm not sure which one I want. I think I'm gonna go purple. Stick with the black theme of the show. So I like hip hop, but I wasn't necessarily raised on it for sure. I think I started to get into it maybe 2006, 2007. I had listened to obviously 2006 when the hyphy stuff was kind of popping off. I was living in San Jose, and I would go to places, and there would be people, my friend Jake actually, who was episode 2 on here. He came, we talked a little bit about the sideshows going on in San Jose, and people lowered like truck all the way down to the ground, and skirting in donuts and stuff, listening to E40 and shit, and but I think eventually I think I was living in Portland, and I got into MF Doom, and I got really deep into MF Doom, and was listening to Ninth Wonder and Jay Dilla and a lot of Madlib, a lot of beat producers, and that kind of opened up my world more and stuff. And
but the Bay Area shit is what started you off?
I guess so. I don't remember exactly, because E40 around 2006. I mean, yeah, I want to say that's Bay Area, but at the same time, it was very. I don't want to call it commercial.
He was doing a bunch of cameos. He was all over.
Right, but everybody was kind of plugging into E40 at that point. And so, but I remember getting into that stuff, and then when I came back, then starting to actually write and sing hooks for people, for rappers around the Bay Area and stuff, and I had gotten introduced to your stuff, and then was like, oh shit, God damn, that's very good. When did you first listen to hip hop or start getting into it?
Probably like MC Hammer.
Really?
And, do you remember the CD clubs? Where
No.
you would have like a magazine order sheet of all CDs, and you
Oh,
would get
oh,
like
yeah,
three
yeah.
CDs a month.
Yeah, yeah. What was the name of the shit? Not Rhino. Anyway, yeah,
This is
I know.
way back.
Yeah,
Dating the cell for sure, but
that's like 93, 94.
oh god, probably before that. It was definitely before that. It was MC Hammer, the Cranberries, and something else that I got were my first three CDs from there.
Oh, Cranberries are gotta be 94, 95. That's
Okay.
like 95 was like Dreams, Linger, and Zombie.
Okay, good.
Were all over the place.
Maybe it wasn't that long ago.
I just mentioned, by the way, that's guaranteed. I think that's the first time the Cranberries' three biggest singles have been mentioned on this show, and I'm glad you could be the one to pop our cherry for that.
Yeah.
So you started listening. What was it like? I've heard the name MC Hammer. How old were you at the time?
Oh, super young. I was still, I had been digging through mom and dad's classic rock. That's what I grew up from a baby on.
Okay.
But, Criss Cross, MC Hammer, the shit was, it was already coming into the sphere, and I was always all about music.
Right.
But real hip-hop, I got pretty punk rock, pretty far out with that, but as soon as I heard Tribe Called Quest, right around middle school, high school, I was like, oh shit. Opened up a little bit.
Okay.
And with that little crack in the door, it just exploded, and I've never looked back since.
Right. So like MC Hammer, you wouldn't necessarily call it real hip hop.
Come on, dude. It's MC Hammer.
The guy can grind, though. I mean, he works hard.
Hey.
I mean, in whatever he's doing.
It was something.
It was. Was it pumps on a bump, or was it like real, too legit? That era.
Oh, it was too legit. It was the big one.
Okay.
It was the big one.
All right. Yeah, that's definitely something.
I was always open to anything musically, really.
Okay.
But yeah, obviously MC Hammer and Criss Cross didn't turn me out. That's for sure.
No. So what about Tribe Called Quest made you feel like, holy shit, this is something big?
There was something big. Being from the Bay, there was a whole lot of Bay shit, but I couldn't enter through that door. I couldn't feel it. I wasn't
Right.
I wasn't open to it after
Right.
saying I'm open to anything. But
Right.
I was really closed-minded on any of the Bay shit, really, for a minute.
Bay shit meaning like Mac Dre, Too Short, like those guys.
Yeah, well, Too Short was always in play, but we had a lot of shit going on.
Okay.
At all times.
Right.
I've gone back and gotten a lot of them, but
Yeah, I even now, like, I like, Mac Dre as an example. Like, I'll throw on a couple of tracks, but, like, eventually, I respect him and Too Short for their contributions. But, like, as far as actively listening, like, as an example, there's a band called Mr. Bungle. I absolutely adore with all my heart. Mike Patton is the lead singer, and they are fucking phenomenal. They make really experimental music that pushes the boundaries, that absolutely opened up my fucking just... Like, that was like, holy shit, you can do that with, like, oh my god. And it totally, but at the same time, do I actively listen to those albums? No. Because
did they use turntables?
They did a little bit, yeah, for sure.
I think that's how I've heard of them.
Yeah, they use turntables, they use, fucking, I think, the main guy plays a saxophone. They're weird motherfuckers,
right.
But I love them with all my heart. Mike Patton was the lead singer of Faith No More, but like, I guess Mr. Bungle was like a side project. But like, they don't, as weird and experimental as they are, there are some songs that are accessible, and I don't think it's just the accessibility that keeps me from just actively going and listening to those. I think it's just my taste of kind of maneuvered, and I follow those. When I smell something new that's like, oh shit, like this is opening up my mind, I follow that. And often I just obsess about whatever that is for a long time, like a couple of months at least, and then I'm like, I kind of poke my head up and like, oh yeah, what did I used to like? And then I start listening to that. Yeah. But I don't know, Bay Area hip hop as some sort of non-dance floor, like, I appreciate it for what it did, but it doesn't speak to me as much. Like even Tribe Called Quest. I was thinking about it the other day. I was like, I like Tribe Called Quest, but like for some reason, I'd rather listen to Mobb Deep. You know what I mean? Like, I'd rather just, even though nothing about me is like gangsta. You know what I mean? Like,
right.
for some reason, I like that stuff. even though they're saying the same shit over and over. You know, I'm gonna rob somebody, I'm gonna get sex. I'm gonna rob somebody, I'm gonna get sex. It's still, for some reason, you know, I don't know. There's something about the lyricism, I think, that and
It's
the
always
beats.
how you say, not what you say.
Right.
But yeah, I've gone back. I mean, SIBO, all the people from around here. It's great music.
Mm-hmm.
I couldn't jump into that at first.
Right. So when you started, what happened after Tribe Called Quest and that sort of like started to open up your mind? You started digging through more into like New York stuff, and then eventually you got to the Bay Area stuff.
Yeah, I definitely went through everything east before coming back here fully to look around.
Right.
It's a shameful part of my musical journey.
Because do you feel like you, how shall we say, rep the Bay? Do you feel like you, I mean, you've been here most of your life?
Yeah. I'd
Okay.
say I'm a fine representative of the Bay Area.
When you're seen, which is rarely because you're mostly in your fucking house.
Right.
When did you start rapping?
I never started rapping.
What are you fucking talking about? I'm going to throw my Pellegrino at you. What are you saying you never started rapping?
All I did was write, started digging through, and started making beats. And
Oh, you started making beats as well.
yeah.
Okay.
I wanted to do it all. I wanted to do everything.
Right.
And then once I started trying to mix my own shit and ruined multiple projects,
Right.
you can't do it all. At least I can't.
Okay, but outside of the editing and the mixing and the mastering and all that bullshit.
Our mutual friend threw me up on stage a few times, and as you can tell, my voice, it's just not the voice for broadcast or music.
I mean, the tracks I heard from you, I liked. I you know.
It's good. I used to like putting words together, and it's always fun to just be with your homie in the room doing something. It's
Right.
a nice craft, you know?
Right.
And I worked on my craft for years, and it's really bad. Like, my creativity is fucking shot. It's just shot. I haven't touched records. I haven't written anything down, not even journaling. It just looks really bad as far as getting old and then getting into politics like I have. Like, you could make a strong case that my soul has been crushed by, by getting old and mature. If you just look at it on paper, you're like, this motherfucker just soul crushed, never had it.
Well, I don't know about never had it,
Grew
though.
out of it, it was never about, like, on paper, I look at it sometimes and I get worried, but,
Right.
I mean, personally, inside, I know what I got going on inside.
Right. So, okay, so then at what point were you like, you know what, was it a conscious thought, like, I'm not going to put more time into this rapping thing, I'm going to focus on, or was it just a natural progression of, like, you're too busy doing these, or focused on these other things?
Yeah, it's always natural.
Okay.
I don't think I've made a conscious decision of where my life's going to go besides career.
Mm-hmm.
In as long as you can remember.
As long as you can remember what do you mean?
Like I just roll with it.
Okay.
I really do, and I do whatever the hell I want. So I just all of a sudden I'm over here, and I've been over here repeatedly for a certain amount of time, and
Right. What do you if you don't mind me asking, what do you do for career? And you can be as vague as you'd like.
electrician.
Electrician.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Was that was like measuring in your head if you wanted to.
I was calculating some things,
Right. I respect it.
It's National Coming Out Day, which has been co-opted as National Coming Out as MAGA Day. So,
is that Jesus?
Because in the current climate, it is actually, in many cases and in many places, harder to come out as a supporter of this president
Absolutely.
than it is to come out as a homosexual
Right.
or lesbian person.
And I doubt, honestly, I mean, maybe with your family, and maybe there are some places in the South or whatever, Midwest, that don't want you to flaunt it necessarily. But I think even there, like, I think they're fine with gays. Like, I don't meet really anybody, and I know maybe it's because I'm a Bay Area sheltered, blah, blah, blah. But, like, I don't meet anybody. I was talking about that on the last episode. Like, for some reason, like, one of the things I've repeated is, like, why can't I be conservative-ish? Like, why can't I like gays and guns? You know what I mean? Like, why can't I do that? But I think that liking gays has been attributed to the left for some reason but like thinking about it, it's like I don't know any conservatives who are against gays or even like really gay marriage. Like the ones that I listen to, they're more like libertarian on gay marriage. Like, fine, get married, but like don't make somebody make a cake type of shit. You know what I mean? Yeah. Or, or okay, do the parade, but like don't show your junk because there's kids all over the place. Like those are the only like
specifics people start getting a little touchy on.
Right, but I was even hanging out at this place earlier where you're not supposed to talk about outside issues.
Yeah,
and someone was talking about how I don't even think my politics, because obviously she's left leaning, and she said I don't even think my politics are all that politics. I just think they're just automatic, like like you shouldn't be sexist and you shouldn't be racist. And I'm thinking about it, and I'm like. What she was saying in that, she was veiled, but she was trying to explain that everyone, or Trump, or these people on the right, these people, are sexist and racist, and that all these people on the left, who have her politics, are just automatically not sexist. And it just made me feel like, what? I don't know anybody, like
Did you know how this works?
Like, I don't know anybody who is like genuinely like, okay, I think what the main disconnect is not the actual issues, but how to deal with the issues that differentiates you from being a liberal versus a conservative. I don't know. What do you think about that?
I think that's elevating it to a level I wish we could all be on. Like, I think it's much closer to what you said first, where getting to that point where we're talking about how to deal with the issues and what the correct action is, I think that would be a blessing. I think we would be in a much better place. Right now, it's much more, this is just what it is. This is just correct, and everything over here is incorrect. And, I mean, these aren't even debatable. This isn't even an idea. This is just is.
Right.
Like the air we're breathing.
Right. And I think it's what's an example of that? There's been a lot of posts and memes about the Kavanaugh stuff, and one of the memes I saw was, actually I think fuck it, let me find it, because I'm not the smartest person in the world, and I have to
be like Rogan.
Be like Rogan, right? Jamie, can you pull this up? So it was, and I almost posted it, even though I didn't. Like, I don't wanna. Like, I was thinking about, like, I try to stay away from posting specifically politically. I feel like most of the stuff that I have to say politically, I save for the podcast, because then there's an opportunity for me to explain myself and for people to feel me. Like Patrice used to say, like, you don't feel me? You just feel, like, you hear that I'm saying, like, the silly words or stupid words, but, like, do you feel me? Like, I'm not an ass. Like, I'm an ass, but I'm not a douchebag. I'm not a piece of shit.
This is the beauty of podcasting, and this is the only reason I did this, is sitting there and listening to Sam Harris do what he does,
right? And
how it's impossible and to replicate anywhere else in media and society at this time. It's so powerful. I felt a duty to come on here and try this, to leave my house and to come out here and try this, because it moves me. It moved me in a way that nothing else has, because I've been in a lot of Facebook comment battles and Reddit battles and Reddit circle jerks and Facebook circle jerks.
Right. Even
though it's just like 3 50-year-old boomers that agree with me most of the time. But
yeah.
But there's nothing like an actual sit down and hashing something out.
Yeah, and there's not really a place for us to like just explain that. Just to like explain myself, and I can't fucking find it, but I mean, I feel like on the last episode, I was a little off. I was very tired. Did you listen to the last one?
I listened to a couple today. What's the last one?
The last one was a female Trump supporter, Danny.
Yeah, she's the one that was talking about, she said Tom Fitton's name. She brought up Tom Fitton from Judicial Watch, and it was...
Who?
Please stop. I can only get so erect hearing some some woman talking about Tom Fitton.
I don't even know who that is.
Oh, he's like the real life Superman. He's just some old dude. He runs a company called Judicial Watch, and they stay hitting the government with freedom of information FOIAs, freedom of information access or application, something where this information you can get from the government, but you have to file it. So he just has this team of lawyers, and they just hit him all day. Spygate stuff, Rod Rosenstein stuff, Fusion GPS stuff, everything from the 2016 election.
So they sue the government for those things.
It's not. You pretty much, it becomes suing them because it's like pulling teeth to get some of this shit. But really, it's just the application process.
Okay.
And they just have a team of people that are minded, to get to specific facts. They're doing the work for the good of the nation. Like, they are doing the heaviest lifting in America right now for anyone that cares about finding out real information.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Tom Fitton. I mean, is there just a website you just go to judicialwatch.com or org or?
Yeah, I'm sure if you Google it,
you can find it.
He does weekly updates. He's got a podcast and.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah.
But I mean, I kind of lost a little bit on that last episode because I was tired and I was listening to it and I'm like, ugh, I sound like an idiot.
Aren't you always tired? I'm always tired.
I'm pretty much, I'm always tired. But I was thinking about it and I was like, the goal of this has always been to, and again, has always, I'm like 2 months into it, so shut up, Pete. But like, the goal is, I want to be able to sit down and have a conversation with all. Like, I mean, a couple episodes ago, I had Kimberly on, and I disagree with her on lots of things.
Roller derby chick?
Yes. Be gentle. But I disagree with her on lots of things. But I felt the humanity. I feel her. You know what I mean? And I get what she's saying. You know what I mean? And
yeah, you totally felt it when you go, maybe. Moving on. Like, you need to work on your podcasting skills, sir.
That may be true, but I also know that with some people I can fight, with some people I can debate on things. Yeah, like you and I know each other. Yeah. Like I know that you're solid enough that I can. I didn't feel like she and I knew each other enough to do that. And the other thing is that we didn't have each other for a lot of time. And the base reason why I didn't push too much on that stuff is when a lot of the people on the left, and I am focusing on the left, are so emotion driven that it's almost just questioning is like I'm stabbing you in the throat.
Yeah.
And I don't need to, it's me and one other person and we're not set up for a debate specifically.
Yes.
I'm not going to make her feel like I'm stabbing her in the throat when I invited her on. You know what I mean? It would be a cunt move of me to do that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I expressed that I disagreed, and I tried to do it kindly, and then move on to a different topic that she would feel more comfortable talking about. You know what I mean?
Sure.
I didn't know this person. It was someone who was, kind of recommended to me.
Oh, gotcha.
But even though we disagree with on a lot of stuff, I see the humanity in her.
Oh, for sure. And that's the important piece.
Exactly. And that's the piece that I feel like when you are just all in a post, it's losing the humanity of it. I'm not seeing you or seeing anybody else as a human being with their own experience and their own values and their own upbringing and their own trials and trip. I mean, she as an example, had a hard year. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not going to fucking...
Yeah, but that doesn't mean you can just say,
I know,
I'm totally for this, except for white males doing it. And really, I mean, what do you need to say after that? The goal is just to get people to say those things as a definite fact, then you go... put one on the board and just move on. I mean, what are you going to...
Right.
What do you say? But that's the joy of Facebook. And really the only time I go on is just to throw shit out. And because you can hammer on those specifics. You can just hammer on the specifics. You don't get the humanity.
Right.
For the most part.
There are some people who do it well. I feel like I've done it okay But if I disagree with somebody, it's difficult to see them as a human being when it's on Facebook especially. You know what I mean? Because it's like, okay, I can now sum you up to this paragraph. That's what I can sum you up to. And if you do it multiple times, now you're absolutely that person.
Yeah,
but then when she and I
help.
go to fucking, like, what'd you say?
Writing quality does help. People who can write better, I mean, you're just better equipped.
But I know from my experience, when I know I'm posting something specifically, like I usually write it, and then I wait like an hour, and then I visit it again, and I'm like, is this a good idea? And often I'll just reword it. You know what I mean? Maybe, add a little smiley face to, like, take a little bit of the sting out so that, even though it's not a human face, it's a face that shows some sort of humanity. Like, hey, I'm smiling. I'm not angry face. You know what I mean? Some people just don't take that, like I posted about having the Proud Boy on. Did you get a chance to listen to that episode?
I did. And that night is actually when I called you and said, all right, fine, we'll do this shit. Because you got me pumped, man. That dude really got me pumped up.
Yeah. He seems to, I mean, and even he and I don't agree on everything, but I mean, I don't think it's necessary to fucking agree with everybody. And the point of this fucking whole podcast is, like, we don't need to fucking agree. Let's just sit and talk. And, like, I hate the fact that everybody on the right is being, like, literally, like, even broaching the subject. I can't. The only times people mention politics in my regular life is to assume that I'm anti-Trump. You know what I mean?
Right.
Is to just say things like, well, no, I talked about it on the podcast too, like, is to just say, like, well, I don't know if we'll survive these next 4 years. I just want to, like, why would you be so fucking rude? Like, I'm not even, I didn't mention shit about politics. I'm buying a fucking coffee, bitch. Like, let me just buy a coffee.
It's like
Let's
the
joke
weather
around
at this
about
point. It's just like the weather at this point. It's just a way for, that means nothing. Orange man bad. Orange man bad. Am I right? Am I right? Orange man bad? Everyone goes, orange man bad. Ah, ha, ha, ha.
Like that lady was talking about earlier, that I mentioned. She assumes that he's racist, and I had to go, like, a few months ago. I was like, all right, let me actually dig a little bit. So I Googled Trump racist, and then there's 15 different ways that Trump is racist, and I started digging through, and I can't remember too many of them now, but I'm at each one, I'm like, yeah, I don't really see that as, like, like, as an example, being not as into welfare as the left. That doesn't seem racist to me. You understand what I'm saying? Like,
yeah, that's a common conservative staple forever.
Right. Being anti-illegal immigration doesn't seem racist to me.
That's completely lost. Any discussion on Trump has to begin with Mexico. Take Mexicans out of the lingo completely. Take immigration out of the lingo completely,
right,
and focus on illegal aliens illegally entering the United States. Begin. And you can't ever get even that far.
Right.
Just the fact you Googled Trump racist and found 15 ways Trump is racist instead of what I just saw today, Googling almost the same thing. Just Trump rallies in the new neo-Nazi rally. Like, the fact you found one that just called him a racist instead of Hitler incarnate is
right.
Good on you, media. You only called the man racist instead of the second coming.
I think it was an old one. I think it was I do want to. What's that one of them where he said that after Charlottesville that people on both sides, that there were good people on both sides of that argument.
We can't even talk about this. Some fat bitch died that day. You can't even speak on this.
Right.
Without instantly going from 0 to 100.
What'd you call her fat bitch? Was she heavy set?
Every fat woman in the world can look at her, the pictures that she got shown, like, as far as, like, this is who passed away,
baby. Come on, poor baby.
Oh, it's terrible. It's fucking terrible.
She shouldn't have died,
No, obviously.
And one of the things God damn it with these fucking tangents. It's hard to stay still and focused.
But let me finish that. The pictures that show of her on the news,
yeah,
she looks pretty bad. You're like, oh, she's a good-looking chick. I mean, it's like the dream of every large woman to, if you have to die, this is the picture that gets shown. It's crazy. Look
they would dig into my Facebook for 2 seconds and find my fucking double chins.
She had a real good memorial going out with that picture being eternally blown up. That's awesome. But the rally, we were talking about the rally.
So
the go-to,
as far as the actual, well, one of them, but yeah, the linchpin of, he said that both sides, there were good people on both sides.
Yeah.
I don't disagree with him, because what he was actually saying was these people who came to say, don't take down my statue, and now I don't necessarily think, even if the mix was 50-50, racist cunt and don't take down my statue people, then he was right? Like, even if the mix of the right side, I'm sorry,
okay,
the non-Antifa side,
okay,
let's say there's a right and a left side, because obviously there isn't, but let's just say there is because we have to. The people on the right, some of those people were saying, hey, don't take down my statue, because it means something to me.
Yeah.
And then there were other people who were just racist cunts.
AKA the purpose of the rally.
Right. So the purpose of the rally was, hey, don't take down my statue. Now, some people in there are racist cunts. And they're genuinely believing, if it is actually KKK people, but then the sentence that he said wasn't incorrect. No. If it was some people in there saying, hey, I don't want you to take down my statue.
Yeah.
The reason why I think Trump said that was, yeah, it's true, but also because he's the people in the media want to pigeonhole him so fucking bad. So bad that they're willing, like, he's defensive. And I don't blame him for being defensive. No. I don't blame him for saying, hey, there were good people on both sides. This shouldn't have happened. This is, you know what I mean? Just like, can you feel him? Can you understand? Can you feel the motherfucker? Just touch your balls for a second, media, and be like, okay, I feel what he's trying to say.
They can't. It's impossible. The game of telephone might be getting scrambled even to this point. He said there was good people on both sides or bad people on both sides.
Oh, wait, did he?
I thought it was...
Shit, we got to Google it now.
This is terrible. But this
what kind of a Trump supporter are you, motherfucker?
This is a great example of what's happening, though.
Yeah. No, that's absolutely correct. Yeah. All right. Trump post Charlottesville quote. All right. The 14 most shocking comments. Yeah, exactly. See that. The 14 most shocking comments from Trump's Charlottesville news conference. This is from August 16th, 2017. Let's surf through this, past the ads and BuzzFeed, just to see. Hang on, it's loading right now. Okay, 14 most shocking, blah, blah, blah. 1, on why he waited 2 days to denounce the racist groups. I wanted to make sure, unlike most politicians, that what I said was correct, not make a quick statement. Okay. He said, the statement I made on Saturday, the first statement, was a fine statement, but you don't make statements that direct unless you know the facts. It takes a little while to get the facts. I want to know the facts. Okay. That doesn't sound like somebody who, you know what I mean? If you want to make that this is proof. It doesn't seem like proof. On whether it was terrorism, on whether he has confidence in the White House chief strategist, Steve Bannon at the time, when asked about the alt-right's influence in Charlottesville. What about the alt-left that came charging them? Mm-hmm. Okay, that's a good point. He said, excuse me, what about the alt-left that came charging at the, as you say, the alt-right? Do they have any semblance of guilt? Let me ask you this. What about the fact they came charging with clubs in their hands, swinging clubs? Do they have a problem? I think they do. Now, let's pause. Mm-hmm. Even yesterday, we saw a video of Portland Antifa literally directing traffic and fucking with seniors. Yeah. And there's a cop half a block away in the video.
Nothing, yeah.
Doing absolutely nothing to these people. Those sound like people who would charge people in a rally, right?
And if you're in the middle of the street doing the shit, you might get run over one day.
I've seen those. Have you ever seen those videos of people like blocking traffic and getting run over?
Yeah.
I've been thinking about it. It's like, could I do that? Like, I know I could, but I would immediately regret it. And like, just letting it, you know what it is? It's a bitch test. And as a dude, I don't want to get bitch tested. You know what I mean? Like, even on bigger levels, when somebody, like, cuts me off, if I'm not feeling all that spiritual that day,
right.
I would like, you trying to fucking punk me, motherfucker? And I'll,
Yeah.
And so that literally is somebody with a club, with a black fucking mask on trying to bitch me.
Ooh.
And if I wasn't being spiritual, I could see me running down some people. I know that's bad, but I could see it, like, and then going, God damn it. You know what I mean? Now I have to serve to that. Because even if you try to inch up and move them, they're going to beat the there's no reason.
Oh, right.
Once you've done that, you assume that they are going to pull you out of your car.
For sure.
And they're seniors, guys. Like, come on, Portland Antifa. Like, they're seniors. They were old people.
Portland is a mess.
He was literally, the Antifa guy, the white guy, was yelling at the other white guy, go back to North Carolina, you fucking white supremacist. And he's like, I guarantee that piece of shit has never been to North Carolina. Maybe he's from fucking Chapel Hill. Do you know anybody from Chapel Hill? College-ass motherfucking town, super watery and liberal. Like, there's nothing about that town that's KKK. Come on, stop. Anyway, on how he viewed the weekend violence and who was responsible. I watched those very closely, much more closely than you people watched it. Okay, I'm going to pause it there. Right. He's being a bit of a cunt.
Of course.
I know he's, he's your favorite and everything. But, I can tell there are some ways that Trump, I do enjoy what he's doing. But sometimes I'm like, all right, stop. Don't be so fucking immature with some ways. But okay, much more than you people watched it. Okay.
Yeah.
And you had a group on one side that was bad, and you had a group on the other side that was also very violent, and nobody wants to say that, but I'll say it right now. You had a group on the other side that came charging in without a permit, and they were very, very violent. Okay. Number 6, I don't disagree with that. Number 6, defending the Unite the Right demonstrators against accusation of racism. So here's the quote. Not all of those people were neo-Nazis, believe me. Not all of those people were white supremacists by any stretch. Those people were also there because they wanted to protest the taking down of a statue, Robert E. Lee. So this week it's Robert E. Lee. I noticed that Stonewall Jackson's coming down. I wonder, is it George Washington next week? And is it Thomas Jefferson the week after? You really have to ask yourself, where does it stop? And then on whether he was comparing counter-protesters and white supremacists. You had a group on one side, and you had a group on the other. They came at each other with clubs, and it was vicious, and it was horrible. And it was a horrible thing to watch. But there is another side. There was a group on this side. You can call them the left. You've just called them the left. So he's literally telling, like, you guys just called them left. They came violently attacking the other group. So you can say what you want, but that's what it is. See, I don't have a problem with that.
There's nothing wrong.
I don't have a problem with what he said.
That part of the quote about the statues, which the entire rally was about,
right?
That's a great point. Sure, take down Confederates.
Take down these, right?
Who's next?
Now, I don't see. Okay, I'm not from the South, so I have no reverence in my belly for any of that statue shit. You know what I mean? Like, I have no piece of me that's like, protect these statues. What about you? Is there something in you that wants you to protect the statues?
We are soulless fucks from the Bay. Like, what do we know,
You'd rather, like, you'd want to erect a statue of fucking Skilo or something.
Yeah, Skilo.
I wish I was a little bit taller. I wish I was a...
Yeah, what the fuck do we know? I never got taught American pride and American history being from right here in the Bay. I never got taught reverence for anything.
Right.
The only patriotism I've ever had has been woken up right now because of this president.
Interesting. Yeah, I can see why that would be. Yeah. Lower the mic a little bit, just towards your mouth. Yeah, there you go.
Politics meant dog shit to me. I used to read Hunter S. Thompson, and he got so spun out on politics, and I could just look back and be like, they were different times. There was a lot of things happening.
Right.
And sure enough, he killed himself because of 9/11 and George Bush, and that's pretty much where I started looking around. Like, all right, it is this fucked, Even a political junkie like Thompson lost such hope he's going to kill himself in his bedroom. It just means nothing anymore. It's sanitized and it's processed, and there's so much regulations and paperwork, and the votes mean nothing, and no matter who's in office, it doesn't mean anything. If nothing else, what I tell people about Trump, and right now, look at how many people care about politics. How many hours of C-SPAN have I streamed with these goddamn hearings? It's got to be over 4 or 5 days of C-SPAN streaming.
God fucking bless you.
In congressional hearings.
Yeah, there's no peace in me. All I can do, nice fucking shoes. What is wrong with you, dude? Mm-hmm. Coming into my fucking studio with looking like like an extra from Swingers. Your money, baby. Your money. All I can handle is like listening to some Rogan, some Shapiro, maybe a little Crowder if I get in the mood. Listen to like a couple of these commentators and then just, moving on. You know what I mean? Going back and listen to some Patrice or, listen to some music or something like. Yeah. So I don't know, man.
I mean, it's all junk food like everything else media. You got the fucking own the libs, own the libs, own the libs.
What does that mean?
Liberal tears, own the liberals. You got the fucking gotcha guys and
they're on both sides.
They're junk food, and then you have the Young Turks and the now this type shit.
Dude, I have told Facebook to hide now this and now this politics and now this all that, like that company now this over and over and over. And I was gone, I thought. But then when someone still shares it, I still see that. But when I hide, like I don't see anybody else, and maybe it's just because I don't know a lot of right-wing people and I don't hide a lot of right-wing stuff, but like I can't keep, like, motherfuckers, I told you to block it. Like, I feel like it's intentional. I feel like I know that's paranoid shit. But I mean, come on, man. Come on. I fucking told you motherfuckers to block Now This and BuzzFeed. And BuzzFeed's gone out of my life, even if someone shares it. But Now This I keep seeing.
Oh, Now This. Occupy Democrats is... I mean, this shit is straight garbage. And that's being generous. Just the Washington Post, the New York Times.
Yeah.
They've come back full circle. And did you read that goddamn novel on Trump's taxes and his dad?
No, I didn't.
Oh, they finally got the bombshell. They finally dug up the dude's tax records. They got the motherlode all the way back to the family's estate and the father and how they ran shit.
Okay.
They're making Trump out to be a tax criminal as a toddler because his dad was giving him like $300,000 a year like as a baby,
Right.
It's just straight trash. Like, I don't watch the Own the Libs right, and
I don't even.
I obviously don't watch.
What are some examples of Own the Libs?
Like even Shapiro. Shapiro is very fact based, but his whole attitude is just man, Own the Libs, man. Like zing, gotcha, burn.
Right.
Plus, fuck Ben Shapiro, anyways. In general.
I can get behind that. I like him, but he is very much. I can only handle a certain amount because, like I was saying, like it's like the Super Friends. I keep going back to that analogy. Ben Shapiro is like a tiny little, like when you need a tiny little Jewish missile to just shoot in there or to be at a debate. Yeah. I trust Shapiro.
Oh, I'd send it anywhere.
When you need a comedian, Crowder. When you need somebody who's a little more middle-minded, I'd go Rogan. When you need somebody who's like an intellectual, I'd go Peterson. When you need to, even though he's a liberal, you know what I mean? Like I reach. Those are the people I listen to.
Yeah, Peterson came out pretty out there with the Kavanaugh thing.
Right.
I thought it was lost in translation. He said, if confirmed, Kavanaugh should resign.
Right.
I was pretty sure what he meant was if the charges are confirmed and he's just a fucking leaf and doesn't understand that when you say confirmed, it means something very specific over here in the States. But he might, I never got to the bottom of it. People were losing their minds. I fucking hate you, Jordan. I bought your book,
Right.
I went to see him VIP when he came over here.
Nice.
It was amazing. The dude's a genius. He's doing more for men.
Right.
In the world,
right,
than damn near anyone that I can remember.
Right.
And yeah, he's a right-wing Nazi fascist to Canadians, and to the psychos over here.
Right.
But in reality,
he's a fucking liberal,
middle of the road liberal.
Right.
So the fact that he doesn't want to chug a keg with Kavanaugh doesn't surprise me, and it doesn't. Right. I don't lose any love for him.
Same thing with Brett Weinstein. Like when I listen to him and
he's a fag.
But he had a very important story. What happened up in Oregon?
He's one of the most honest people in the world. And I mean, and there's no better spokesman for how sick it's getting than that dude right there, because he would love nothing more than to just ignore stuff and leave stuff out and cover it up, but he's so goddamn honest. Like, I love that man.
Right.
It's just, to see him in pain, bashing his own causes and not able to stick up for it, and
You mean in the videos?
It's delicious to watch. Anytime he's talking about how sick it's gotten on college campus or what happened to him, it breaks the man's heart, you know? And nobody cares. Everyone from where I'm sitting is just like, yeah, you know? Thank you for what you're doing. Like, it's much appreciated. But fuck you, because if you could tweak a little something and go harder, you would, you know?
Yeah.
It's just not working right. But you think that if you just did this and this, it's all going to fall into place. He doesn't think the whole mindset, the leftist mindset, he doesn't think that it's broken. He doesn't think that it's inherently coming from a shit place, you know? He thinks it's savable. And everybody from their side is, you know, they damn near beat him up.
Now, it would be savable or worth saving if what they believed was true. As an example, like we started off that conversation, if everyone on the left are the pro-civil rights guys and everyone on the right wasn't, it'd be totally worth it.
Oh, yeah.
But I don't see anybody on the right who's anti-civil rights. I just don't.
No, you see Don Lemon saying Kanye is what happens when Negroes don't read.
Or you see someone else, who was it, who said Kanye brings us back 155 years? Did you see that?
Sent us back. That was Donna Brazile. You may remember her from passing CNN questions to Hillary during the debates ahead of time. Oof. You may remember her from a strange month after the election where she said she was having to hide out in her house fearing for her life. Her book was a bombshell where she just rips on. You might remember Donna Brazile from such hits as Bernie Sanders sold out his fucking campaign and supporters to the DNC with explicit contracts that Hillary's paying for everything and she's the one in charge. She fully broke that story. A lot of people knew that. A lot of people understood what happened with Bernie.
I thought Bernie got fucked.
He was complicit in the whole thing.
Are you serious?
The entire process.
I thought he got fucked and was like, okay, fine, in order to, maybe you could either go keep the power, or in order to not get Trump in there, he said, fuck it, I'll say, yes, I support Hillary. Right. You're saying he was complicit in... Before the fact.
Before that. He knew the setup. DNC is broke. Hillary's got all kinds of cash. I mean, the whole world is throwing money at her, right? She's the queen, about to take the throne. She says, all right, you guys are broke. Throws all of her money into the DNC. The DNC uses it for fundraising, Bernie included, you know? Bernie's going around riling his supporters up. Match me. I'm donated $20. Match me. College students all over the place. This is our chance. This is our chance. Knowing the entire time, all that money is going to the DNC, which is going back to Hillary. It's all the same pot. He was out of the race already, long before he threw in the towel.
And this is not a right-wing person who said this. This is Donna Brazile.
Go back to Donna Brazile when her book launched. I'm surprised she's still alive. She dropped so many nice ones. She hit Hillary so hard. She hit Bernie so hard.
And yet she's still on the left side.
Of course.
So...
Yeah. And of course, that was a blip in the news that I paid attention to because it was huge to me, but it never made it.
But the big news is Trump really likes KFC. Like, that's...
Oh, sure.
Or he's got a tiny pee-pee or something like that. Like,
never forget the 2 scoops of ice cream.
What was the 2... This from that book? What's his face?
No, this was way before that. He had a bunch of press to the White House, and the big deal was everyone else got ice cream with their dinner, but the president had 2 scoops of ice cream. 2 scoops. Everyone else got 1. He had 2, and I think it was a different kind. You know.
Nice.
Yeah. I do
like the dick swinging he does as not very tactful as he can be. I do like the little ways he can be like who last week some New York Times reporter was like, he started off, Trump called on him and he's like, by the way, we're not failing, and he said, say thank you, Mr. Trump. The balls, dude. The balls of a New York Times reporter to say we're not failing and not have another one in the chamber, to not know that Trump's going to go, yeah, it's because of me, motherfucker.
Yeah.
That's so like, the balls on this motherfucker.
What did he do last week? This one bitch that's always getting him stands up, and it basically comes down to something I wasn't thinking. This is what the reporter said. You know, I wasn't thinking. He goes, "That's all right. You never are." You know, just
that's what it is.
On the White House lawn. You know, just destroyed this woman.
See, this is what it is. Donald Trump, hate him or love him, and this is just a fact. He played the dozens. Donald Trump is a New Yorker. He's a shithead New Yorker, you know, businessman asshole who is ready and very competitive and very, he's ready to fucking say your mama jokes right away.
Did you know he fucked a porn star?
Right. Consensually, by the way. Why, by the way, can we just say something about the dudes? I'm about to say something to the dudes on the left. You can hate him all you want, but are you really going to try to hang your I'm against Trump hat or what's the word? To hang your impeach hat on the fact that he got side? Like, that's you know what, that's treachery to dudedom, to me, to hang your hat. You're telling me all the motherfuckers on the left, all of the Don Lemons, they've never cheated. They've never gotten a little, especially the ones who are high up in the media, who have money and who have fame.
Don Lemon is gay as fuck, but I get your point.
Oh, okay. I get your point. All right. But you know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, we're now going to, like, the principle is more important than the personality. If I believe...
How dare you, sir?
If I believe that, you know, yeah, you shouldn't cheat, but don't be a shithead about it. Like, don't be a tattletale if your friend fucking cheats, or if you accidentally cheat. You're telling me all these motherfuckers have a squeaky clean fucking sexual history? Nobody listening to this, nor in this room, has a squeaky clean sexual history. The principle is more important than the personality. You can try to fuck him and impeach him on a bunch of other stuff, but don't try to impeach him on that. Right. Then we're all fucked. Right. Then the minute we slide into someone's Instagram DMs, we're all screwed.
But he's the president. What is the president supposed to be? The way all these people are talking, you forget that the president's job is to run the goddamn country.
Right.
That's your job. You know?
You don't have to be morally... I mean, but we already tried morally superior, guys.
Did we?
I mean, that's what these people are thinking. Like, if we have these people who are... Like, Trump is just not... He's not presidential. I'll give you that. But, like, we tried presidential. I mean, obviously, Bill Clinton, the guys on the left, like Kennedy and Bill Clinton, you know, they got a lot of fucking nasty side and all that shit. But, like, okay... Barack Obama, Reagan, these are all presidential people. And what I personally mean by presidential is they have all that tact. They have all that, I'm going to say this to, even Bush, I have all this stuff, and no matter what questions you say, no matter what weird shit I just did, or a fucked up decision I made, good or bad, I'm going to spin it to look like, you know, mission accomplished. You remember? Mission accomplished. Trump does his own version of that when he's reading cue cards, but when he's just answering questions, when he's just tweeting, you can hate him, but he's honest.
He's honest and he's transparent. I mean, you're lucky if you got a bullshit answer from presidents before. This man is hitting my phone with tweets multiple times a day, blowing people the fuck out. Not just normal tweets like, stay safe, Florida. He's like, holy shit, this Florida thing, I want you guys to run.
His Instagram is much more polished. His Instagram is much more polished.
I love it.
Someone else is doing that. But that tweet, that's where Confefe or whatever came from.
Yeah.
He's barely checking it. Now he learned that lesson. He's gonna spell check more often. But other than that, you know what I mean? Sad. Like, he's not. and like I said, I would prefer if he didn't tweet so goddamn much or tweet the way he did.
Why? Why would you hang on to that?
Here's why. I feel like if he stopped doing that, the left would move their fight to a different ballpark. And I feel like there are more important ballparks rather than, the left just casts this giant net of doom and gloom. It would be harder to do that if there wasn't that. You understand what I'm saying? It would be harder to make it feel like, oh yeah, Andy's racist, Andy's this, Andy's that, if he gave them less reasons, even though I get it, like, I don't know.
You can't give him an inch.
You mean I hear what you're saying.
You can't give them an inch. Either side at this point. I mean, you can see that they are going by this by now. Right. From what happened to Kavanaugh alone, they are not giving a centimeter.
The left, you mean?
The left.
So let's or finish your point.
It's at that point, people. There is no inch to give. There is no reaching across the aisle. There is none of this. For the foreseeable future, it is all in. And the only people that are being convinced are the huge number of people in the middle. Mm-hmm. The huge number. And
yeah, have you seen that walk away campaign?
Oh yeah, good stuff.
Yeah.
Russian bots, every single one of them.
Right.
Complete fake.
I've tried. One of them might come on the show. Sorry. Continue.
I heard you talking about that. That is exciting. And it's great. It's testimonials. It's whatever. But for the foreseeable future, it's all out. It's been made very clear that it's all out. And you know what? The Republicans are probably the first ones to do it by not bringing on Merrick Garland. That was probably...
What's that? What do you mean?
Merrick Garland was the Obama's Supreme Court pick that they would not let get approved because Obama was going out in like 8 months. They kept the seat open for 8 months until Obama left office. That's why Gorsuch got to get picked as soon as Trump came in.
Oh.
Somebody retired off the court. Obama says, cool, we got an open spot. Here's my guy. Another Jewish dude. Great dude. Voted actually 97% of the time the same as Kavanaugh voted. Their votes are the same. But, I'm president. There's a vacancy. Here's my pick for Supreme Court judge. Fuck you guys. The only thing, though, is the Republicans still had enough control over there to where they were like, no. No.
Do you feel like, okay, I understand not giving them an inch, but if that's the case, I
think they started it. I really do. And
you feel like the left started it?
No. I think
you feel like the Republicans started it
with Merrick. That's where the shit hit the fan.
That's where they were like, okay, we're going to take our gloves off even further.
Mm-hmm.
I see.
I think that was it. I do think the Republicans started it. I think that was
so they shouldn't have done that
point
shit
in history. I think they totally should have.
You mean they should? They shouldn't. You agree with their decision not to let that motherfucker in.
You're assuming I give a fuck. Yeah, I agree completely. Don't strain yourself. You can safely assume for the rest of this conversation that I am from a burn it down place because I was in a burn it down place before I went for Bernie or Trump.
So even though you are Trump, you're showing through your experience and through what you're saying that you're not all the way on one side. How refreshingly wonderful. You're not saying, well, he's in my camp, so everything he's doing is cool. Like meaning the Republican senators who did not let that motherfucker through.
Sure, it's a dick move, Right. I don't stand for anyone in government.
Okay.
Except for Cocaine Mitch lately and Lindsey Graham, the turtle who's been going off.
He does look like a motherfucking turtle.
Lindsey Graham's sweet ass got up there and delivered fire, and Turtle Man Cocaine Mitch was just not caring. It was amazing to see. But these guys, they've been going back and forth forever. There's why no one cares about government. Not until Trump got in there. Okay. I'm at the point where burn it down. I was ready to put Bernie Sanders in control, knowing his policies are fucking horrible, and they'll never work. But
wasn't Rand Paul similar? Remember that LOVE? That was it seemed grassroots years ago. Even I think it was Romney Obama. Oh, it really?
I think it was the older Paul. Both the Pauls are based. The Pauls are great. They'll never win, and they got fucked before by the establishment. Are
they similar to a what's that motherfucker from the Gore? I had a book signed from him a long time ago. Really like crunchy, really left to the, or maybe libertarian to the point where he was saying like we need to stop building roads and things like that. Who's that one? That
they're out there.
When it was Clinton No, I'm sorry. When it was Gore Bush in 2000, who was the guy, like, if you vote for this guy, you're taking votes away from Gore? Who was that guy?
I didn't know what year it was.
Something with an R. Nader. There we go. Nader.
Yeah, I don't know.
Oh, okay.
I was hallucinating a lot in 2000. Like I said, I completely gave up on government and politics as a concern or anything until I see, all of a sudden, out of fucking nowhere, Donald Trump and Bernie Sanders are serious contenders for the presidency of the United States. Right. And I looked around and said, something is happening right now, you know?
Oh.
I can tell something's happening. Does anyone else see something happening? And nobody else really could, you know?
Okay.
Everyone just assumed Bernie's cool, but Hillary's getting in because that's how these things work. And Donald Trump is a joke. And
see, the people I knew in all the circles that I walked, nobody was really raw. I mean, I know one guy who was rah, and I was voting for Bernie at this point.
Yeah.
I didn't know anybody who was rah for Hillary. Everybody else was like, oh yeah, Bernie, for sure. Now, knowing what I know now, or feeling the way I feel now, it's been 2.5 years, I wouldn't vote for Bernie. I would probably, I know, it's very sad. I would have voted for Trump. But, I didn't know anybody who was big into Hillary. And so when she won over Bernie, I was like, wait, what? Like, what the fuck? Like, I would have much rather seen a Bernie versus Trump at that point or afterwards.
Great.
That would have been insane. Oh. I mean, just as insane as Hillary. I mean, the old guy who's supposed to be keeping his morals,
yeah.
Versus the guy who's just giving him fucking all kinds of shit.
The philandering sleaze. I mean, Hillary passed out from whatever the hell she's got going on.
Right.
Bernie might have fallen out at the podium trying to...
Yeah. Right, that's true.
Just a couple of shots from Trump. He took out an entire row. Those are some of the best Republicans that I can remember.
Right.
There was like 12, 13 people on that stage. A lot of them were solid contenders.
Right. And I think it's because Trump knows how to brand. And he knows that I also think, similar to Kanye, we all need a bad guy.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like Trump knows that we need a bad guy, just like he was a bad guy on The Apprentice.
Yeah.
He was a bad guy. He knows that we need a bad guy. So at the same time, I don't know. I guess maybe it's the romantic in me that feels like, he should have more tact because that way we could all get in the boat together. And I just feel like, I don't know.
Yeah, fuck them. Fuck them all.
Now, I do agree with you, though, that as far as the gloves being, I mean, even Hillary, what was it, today?
Yeah.
Of all people, by the way. But anyway, Hillary said, because there's been all these mobs, Portland Antifa and all this stuff, like, she said it's no longer time to be civil, pretty much. She literally said...
No, she said, once the Democrats take back control of the House and or Senate, then we can start being civil again. Fucking terrorist. Terrorist.
That was not, I mean, and here's what I think. If you follow, like, what she believes, or what she says she believes, because I don't think she actually believes that.
She doesn't believe nothing.
I think if you follow that, well, Trump is the devil and Trump is racist and misogynistic and sexist, then I get not being civil. But I don't agree with the premise, is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
I can disagree with him politically. I can think he's a sleazebag. I honestly believe, he probably is insecure about his tiny wee-wee. But, like, in general, that doesn't preclude you from being the president to me. You know what I mean? Like, being a sleazebag has never really stopped anybody. I mean, by the way, if you're a dude and you have power, why else would you have power unless you can get some strange? You know what I mean? Why else? I get it. Okay, aside from the molestiness, and I don't know too much about the molestiness, but, like, being a sleazebag, like, I'm sorry. Like,
yeah.
Every dude who has power can exercise it because there are women who will let you grab them by the pussy, which is what he said. They will let you grab them by the pussy.
How dare you, sir? I can't even be a part of this show right now.
But, like, we can't even be honest?
No.
None of the dudes listening to this
I've never
are like...
heard. A groupie? What is this groupie you speak of? Are you telling me that you're trying to tell me women will line up 15 deep
just
for a chance to fuck R. Kelly? Even if it's been 50 years since
Dude,
his hit songs.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
I mean, goddamn, R. Kelly got so tired of fucking dime pieces that he would just go and find the weirdest, brace-faced, ugly, strange ones. Can you imagine getting so much ass that's all tens that you just over it?
Can we take a moment of silence for Jay-Z, by the way? That poor motherfucker. A moment of silence for Jay-Z. And maybe in the silence, because I can't stop talking. But like, here's what I'm saying. Jay-Z cheated because he didn't have the balls to say, "Hey, bitch, like I love you the shit, but like if I'm on tour, I have a lot of money and fame. Like I'm one of the most powerful, if not the most powerful person in hip hop. Like I need to get my dick sucked from time to time by not you, and I love you very much, but like this is the way this relationship is going to go." So rather than being an honest person and set it up that way, he was dishonest and then I guess cheated, and then fucking Beyonce just writes this whole album. If that's all like legit and not just a work like wrestling, then like, and then now he's like grown his hair out and he's like doing a joint album with her. Like he is the hip hop equivalent of going to the store to buy tampons. Like he is the hip hop equivalent of going like, "Yes, baby, I'm sorry for I know I'm a piece of shit." Like, come on, man. Poor Jay-Z, dude. You're the most popular. You could literally be. You could do what Kanye's doing and just
he crossed the line somewhere. I don't think it's as simple as he lied about it, because anyone, Beyonce, any woman that's married to a man like that, you know. You think Melania never knew that Trump is banging all kinds of chicks?
Right.
It's inherent. It is just a known fact.
Right.
I don't care. People get married for appearances. They get married to be a family man. But when you are a famous or powerful man, you are living in a different reality that few men get to touch.
Right.
And any idea that these people aren't banging whenever. But there's always lines. He must have crossed the line. Whoever Becky with the good hair is, he crossed the line, you know?
Poor Becky with the good hair, too. Like, hey, she was just doing what she was just following. Like, don't shit on a side girl. The poor side. More power to the side girls out there.
Bless their hearts. For sure.
Email me at conservativepodcast@gmail.com. I ain't got a bitch, but
next week is the side piece episode.
Fucking,
this place is filled up.
You have no idea. Anyway. But anyway, all I'm saying is, poor Jay-Z. But yeah, you're probably right. I think the same thing with Patrice used to talk about it. He would say things like, you know, like David Letterman. He was talking about David Letterman. Like famous wives of famous people, famous men, they just say things like, "Just don't make me look like an idiot." Mm-hmm. I understand you're going to do this. Because you said, like, maybe they get married for looks. I genuinely believe Jay-Z probably loves fucking Beyonce. Oh, you know, he probably loves her.
Yeah.
I've been in relationships where I absolutely love the girl. But that doesn't always. I mean, sometimes I've been not as monogamous or not as whatever. But sometimes I'm like, I just need to fuck other things. Like, it's not personal. I don't love this other girl. I love you, baby.
The shit's automatic. What are the odds that the king of hip-hop and the queen of R&B end up together? It's just social engineering. I don't care how much they think they love each other. Part of it is just 2 + 2 = 4. You know, like
because try okay, Beyonce, try doing like what Cher did and dating a fucking bagel shop owner or whatever the fuck. You know what I mean?
What
like,
happens? Yeah.
Right. That's got to be difficult for her.
It's
you know what I mean? She's got to date up.
Well,
you know
now you're getting into game theory now.
Uh-oh.
That really piss people off now. Talk about Trump all you want, but if you notice, it's the women. You talk about the women, and you got some problems, buddy.
What do you mean? Elaborate.
Same thing about just you said the dudes, because they are not acting like men, who are sticking up for the Democratic side and taking the, oh my God, Stormy Daniels' wife's home pregnant.
How dare how dare he?
It's getting bad, but the Democratic Party is the party of women, and not even white women. I mean, people of color, women of color is the Democratic Party. They are really getting focused down to nail it down. It's getting really fucking embarrassing to be a man and say you're a Democrat.
Right.
And
I mean,
it's becoming femme-centric to the extreme.
Right. And I feel like part of that is because, and I've said it before, man, oh, there's a lot of people pissed off from this episode. But I just, it's not the dudes. Like, I think it's because girls just work on a different, they are more feeling centric, and that's okay. We need that feminine energy. I'm sorry, like, there's been times in my life where I was like all marching, and I needed somebody to be like, hey, Pete, don't beat the shit out of yourself. And I didn't know that, and I don't get that from dudes. And it makes sense that I don't get that from dudes, because the masculine energy is discipline, and I need both sides. And I tell you, like, I'm definitely much more into discipline. Not into discipline, let me rephrase that. I'm much more into, like, the masculine side of things. But we need both sides, you know. So we need somebody to kiss the boo-boos, and we need somebody to kill the wolf. But to just be so desperate for, I think it's just the females who just don't understand the context, because they are feminine. You know what I mean? Because they hear the words "grab 'em by the pussy" and they internally, mentally attach feeling to it, and they can't shake it. Oh, yeah. They can't shake feelings away from the words. No. They can't shake feelings away from what Trump is. But, like, logic should be more important, because we need to eat and survive, right? So, yes, someone needs to kiss boo-boos and feed the baby, but, like, that shouldn't be all we're living off of. That shouldn't be all our focus is, because all these bitch dudes are just embarrassing the fuck out of me, man. That's part of the reason why why I'm thinking about moving to New York. I mean, like, when I go to work, like, I've hung out with dudes and be like, there's only, like, one dude at work who's like, hey, you want to see this fucking chick? Like, let me, show me a picture. I'm like, dude, yeah, little Melfi, blah, blah, blah. Like, there was one time where I was, like, trying to, like, buddy up with this dude, and I'm like, hey, you want to see this fucking picture this girl just said? He's like, no, I'm all right. What?
You think you're better than me?
I just, like, what the fuck's wrong with you? Yeah. What the fuck is wrong? Like, I don't know. Maybe I didn't know him well enough or something, but I'm trying to get to know him better. Like, when I'm in Starbucks, and this is what I was saying about the East Bay, in Oakland and Berkeley, I don't know if you heard me say this before, but in Oakland and Berkeley, the only masculinity that's allowed over there is if you're black. Because if you're black, you're marginalized, so you're a victim. So that means you can get away with literally anything, including killing people because you had a bad childhood. But, like, I just spraying it everywhere. But, God damn it, what was the point I was making, son of a bitch?
Your hatred of black people was blinded you. To your point.
Oh, that's what I was gonna say. But, like, when I'm in Starbucks and there's a black guy next to me in line or something, and there's a bitch, like, at the register with a delicious ass, I can look over at the black guy and be like, mother, and he's like, dude, you can't do that with you can't do that with most dudes. Like, you used to be able to just appreciate it. I'm not saying go up and grab her. I'm not saying you say something to her or whistle at her, but appreciate and be honest about it. Just be honest. You can't be an honest person. Just let's be fucking honest.
They're programmed very well. They've got a lot of soy boys very programmed.
And girls, you want it. Maybe you don't want us to whistle. Maybe you don't want us to hit on you sometimes when you're not feeling sexy or you're feeling sexy or some bullshit.
What they
but
want
you want to be a sexual object. You just want to be the sexual object to one specific special man. And guess what, baby girl? If you want Brad Pitt to hit on you, the same thing in Brad Pitt's balls is in my balls. The same animus to go fucking, like, hit on the girl and fucking tackle the gazelle is in me, just like it's in Brad Pitt. Just because you don't want me to do the same thing and say, hey, baby, what's up?
Yes.
Or approach you, whether it's nice or doesn't mean, like, you can't control my manness.
No. They can't control, and they want that. Same
because
as
there's
everybody
safety
else
in it. Right.
Wants that. The thing is, they're very bad at discerning. Which man is the man? Pimps could never be a thing if women were able to look and, if a man's manhood was like tits and ass.
Right.
Yes, no, yes, no.
Right.
I could spot a chick I want to fuck from 100 yards away.
In a car when she's driving and all I can see is her arms and the back of her head.
Instantly.
You don't understand,
they
girls.
Don't have it
it's
that easy.
Nature, goddamn.
They don't have it that easy. And I'll even give the disclaimer. Physically wise, what I can spot something that gets my DNA moving, and I would like to fuck from 100 yards moving in 2 different operation car just on the physical.
Right.
Maybe she's a bad person or a good person. I don't know. I'm just talking about physical.
Right.
Being able to spot that. Women don't have that luxury.
Right.
You see ugly dudes with beautiful women all the time. People say it doesn't happen. It happens all the time.
Right.
Short dudes, you pretty much have to be famous and powerful. But you see it a lot on the red carpet.
Oh, shit.
You see it a lot on the red carpet. Way too short dudes with way too tall women.
Right.
It speaks to the power of power and fame. But
Right.
so the fact that they're programming themselves and
Right.
the fact that all these dudes are programming themselves to be
dishonest,
it just weeds them out automatically. And it just makes it that much easier.
and I feel bad because not only can they not see who they're attracted to, but they're also like, okay, this guy gets my DNA moving, if you will, and I feel like I'm attracted to him. Okay, screw it. I'll let him in to my life or my pussy or whatever metaphor, I will let him in. And then it turns out you're like with him for a little while, and then he just can't get it up and keep it up. Let's try maybe next time. And the sex is okay, but there's something about it that just doesn't. And then someone else is hitting on you, but then you're like, you don't want to hurt his feelings, and so you like, then okay, and then you hang on until someone else just pulls your animal away, and you just all of a sudden you're with a bad boy. And then all of a sudden you're with the bad boy, and then the bad boy hurts you, and so you say, okay, screw it. But there's always offers constantly, like
so
Chris
tough.
Rock talks
So
about.
tough being a
Open
woman.
the door. Want some dick?
Yeah.
That's exactly what it is.
Yeah.
Everywhere, every look, you know what I mean? But like our job is to constantly look out there and just point it anywhere. Like, who wants this? Please, something for the love of God happen to it. There's no such thing as a female glory hole. There's no such thing. There is sometimes at sex parties that women are just passed around, blah, blah, blah. But they are turned on by the fact that they're passed around at a sex party. Or they're turned on by the anonymity of it. A guy sticking a dick in a glory hole is not happy about the anonymity of it. He's turned on because, for the love of God, something happened to my dick. Please, something. I am sick of jerking off. Something.
And on this creepy homoerotic note, I gotta take a piss.
Yeah, I know, me too. All right, we'll take a little breaky poo. Okay. All right. Now, back to the gay shit.
Yeah. Put a pin in that.
No, I mean, I genuinely, I'm enjoying this episode. This is a good fucking episode. I don't know why. I mean, I think I think multiple people that I've had on are like, oh, I don't know. Like, I feel like I don't know what am I gonna be entertaining. I don't know if you said that or not, but like multiple people, and I'm just like, first things first, I'm entertaining enough for everybody. Number 2.
Yeah, first let me just say, I respect the shit out of you. From meeting you the first time where I met you.
Where did you, at a show, I think? One. I'm eating a peanut butter bar. Yeah. We can't, no.
Right, specifically, but.
Right.
Yeah, I've got you
At a spiritual
I've got you
thing.
in a
Gathering.
spiritual thing. I've got you in my phone.
Right, I didn't even know
Thumper's Pete. That's how you're in my phone. Did you just get my text when I was out front?
Yeah.
That you still got the same number?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's ancient, because you were just Thumper's Pete.
Yes, it is.
And when that first day I met you, you were a stand-up man. Meeting you later on through our mutual friend in the music business and seeing how you perform and the work ethic, and you're out there and you're killing it. I mean,
thanks, man.
yeah, I'm a total fan. I wouldn't do this for anyone that I didn't really respect. Like I said at the beginning, like I don't even answer the phone for people I love my entire life right now.
Thank you, man. Well, part of the reason why, like I said, yeah, I complimented your music, but part of the reason why I wanted to have you on is because you are a lot more like no bullshit, and it's hard to find people. Like I feel like the last 2 episodes, or maybe not episode 15, but like this one and the one before, I feel like, am I having too many like conservative on? But I'm like, no, because the 2 previous before that were like mostly left-leaning people. I mean, we may have dipped into some like jokes or some this or that, but like, I don't know. Here's why I feel like part of the reason why I called it this, called it conservative and more right, because it doesn't get talked about a lot.
Not here, no.
And when I'm in, not just social media, but like when I'm in my, like I said, even at Starbucks, it's just totally accepted to just go fuck Trump or wear a shirt that says fuck Trump, or, you know, build a wall around Trump, or like all over the place. But even the mention of, and I'm not saying I'm going to get a MAGA hat or any of that shit, but like even the mention of even expressing anything that's anti that is just, you're a piece of shit. And I just disagree.
Yeah.
I just disagree that
There's
everyone
so
on the
much to
right
discuss.
or everyone on the left is a piece of shit. I absolutely disagree with that.
There's so much to discuss. There's so much happening right now. So many people care so much. And the discussion from the left is just shut down immediately.
Right.
I mean, the best arguments I got into, the best discussions I've had, ended up in, defriendings, and I wasn't invited to a birthday party last week because I don't respect women now, and,
Really?
and like, but they're the best ones I've had. It's expensive. This
Right.
doesn't cost us anything,
Right. Well, this cost me a lot, but yeah, continue.
Okay, yeah, money-wise.
Patreon.com/conservative.
It is. There needs to be a discussion while everyone gives a shit. And I feel like the left is just being so lazy. Even the junk on the right is at least getting into it, talking about it. You can barely let Jordan Peterson get off a paragraph or two before somebody starts screaming in the audience.
Right.
He was at some prestigious ass college. There's people banging on the stained glass windows of like this hallowed ground. Was there anything more poetic than on Martin Luther King's fucking weekend, the Antifa is burning down Berkeley, the birthplace of free speech? On Martin Luther King Day, they're burning down the Martin Luther King building, shutting down the speech of someone, and beating people in the streets. It was no better than that. I mean, that was just that'll be a day to remembered in history forever.
Right. That's, yeah.
You can't sum it up better than that day when that went down.
Right.
Milo couldn't even speak. Milo.
Right.
People last week telling me Milo is a white supremacist.
Right.
He's gay, married to a black man. Like,
Right.
oh yeah, I forgot about that. It's kind of important,
Right. But apparently, maybe he's fetishizing.
Maybe he's fetishizing. That's great.
And even the left, like my friends and my family who are listening to this right now, even the liberals know that that's some dog shit. Fetishizing. Well, yeah. I like big titties. I'm fetishizing big titties. You know what I mean? What?
Don't even give it the don't even give it the shine to even go into it. You can't go down all these thousands of alleyways and nooks and crannies that these motherfuckers try and put you in with their emotional based, as you said, discussion.
It's not discussion.
It's not discussion.
This is the platform,
therapy. And
it's automatic. And then if you disagree, we're gonna start screaming. Which is why I couldn't stop Kimberly in the middle of the episode and be like, all right, let's genuinely dissect this, because I felt like I could see it in her eyes. She was just ready to. I'm like, okay, I don't even know this person well enough to talk her down. Let's just move on. You know what I mean? Like, it wasn't set up as a debate show, because I felt weird about it afterwards. I was like, I should have fought her on it. But I'm like,
I'm telling you, just the fact you got her to say, of course fucking rape jokes are okay, unless you're a white man. I mean, obviously. Just if you can get anyone from that side to even just state a fact like that, just chalk it up and move on, because that's as far as you're ever going to get.
right.
I go from talking about how they're forcing women on the boards of whatever, private companies or whatever in the city. You
Right.
must have a woman on the board.
Right.
I go from saying how I do not like that, how I think it's sexist, how it's impossible to ever fully respect a woman, big picture, when they have an asterisk by their name. The same way you can't look at Barry Bonds and say, he's just an amazing athlete. He is an amazing athlete. Any woman that makes it to even be considered for these board positions is an amazing achiever. But he's shooting a lot of juice. And there's a law in the books that says you have to place a woman here. You'll never know if she was the right person for the job. You can never find out.
And I don't think she will know. And so in order to overcome that insecurity, she's got to be a complete douche to everybody around her. She's got to flex way and be... And we all know people, both men and women, but especially I know women who flex management muscle who don't need to, who are just expressing like a dude because we have the muscles that we have, understand like the actual like can take out aggression elsewhere. A woman takes out her aggression through her words, through her fucking silence, through her, you know what I mean? And so in order to flex that management muscle and take out her aggression, because she might be insecure that she didn't get the job on merit alone, imagine the hell she would be to those about her. Jesus. I know it's just, you know, obviously it's just a fantasy at this point,
yeah,
but you know.
It's a hypothetical. What's not hypothetical is there's forcing people to put women in these positions.
Right.
You're a quota.
Right.
There could have been 100 people 10 times more qualified than you. There could have been 0. You could be the top bitch. You could be the number 1 draft pick.
Right.
But you got placed there.
Right. We'll
by a law, by the government.
Right.
The same way illegal aliens are now able to vote in local school district elections in the city of San Francisco.
Really?
On the books, legal for an illegal alien who came in this country illegally, not a citizen, to vote in school board elections.
Right.
And instantly, it's just local elections, instantly, just no even recognition of, okay, this is a lot further than we ever said it would get, you know. If I could even get that from people, I'd be much happier. Like,
but no, you can't.
Yes,
yeah, it's not even.
Yes, we said this was a complete fantasy and you were insane that this would ever happen. Okay. And you know, I'll give you that. But illegal aliens should be able to vote if they're in our community and send their kids to school. I would be so happy if I hear that. And that's what we don't get to. And we won't even get to that now.
Right.
Because the philosophy is just ingrained.
I think the philosophy is already built up. It's like hipsters. Hipsters, when they were first coming around, were like, of course. There's an of course. Of course I like this. Of course I'm into this. Of course. There's an unearned pressure. And it's that same thing with politics on the left, where it's just like, of course I believe that all trans and this and now you can't even. Where to the point it's a not mini crime. What is it? Microaggression. It's a microaggression to misgender somebody even accidentally. You know.
And in Canada, it is a crime if you continuously do it. That's what started Jordan Peterson off.
Right.
They want to make it a crime.
Right.
Actually, it is a crime here for hospital staff in the city.
Really?
Yeah, any hospital or old folks' home workers, anybody in that kind of caretaker role, if they persist in their misgendering, it is against the law. It's actually worse than knowingly infecting someone with AIDS at this point. They reduced that down to a misdemeanor, and the misgendering can be considered a felony.
In San Francisco specifically?
In San Francisco specifically. Will it ever happen? Of course it's not going to happen. It's just extreme, guys. Why the fuck did you make a law then, you know? Why go to the trouble of knowingly infecting someone with AIDS, dropping it to a misdemeanor? Why
But that's just
down?
sexually, right? And isn't that LA or is that all statewide?
I just know it's in the city. It might be statewide. You're right. It might be a statewide thing, but
okay.
Who the fuck cares about LA? Am I right? Bay Area, stand
up.
No,
I think I do remember Brown being behind it, so that's got to be state because I don't even know who the fuck the mayor is around here. But yeah, I think it was a governor. You're right. But
these are laws.
I'm gonna say something that's probably really offensive because I thought about it, and this is just looking at my experience alone, just my experience. I know one trans girl who I consider a friend. She's helped me out with a bunch of shows, and she's a badass. I like her, and she's funny. She's a comedian. And she wants to be called she. She wants to be called a woman. she makes jokes about, about like, yeah, when I used to have a fucking giant dick, you know what I mean? Like she makes jokes about it.
Yeah.
And she said, man, it's hard for us women, you know what I mean? And I'm like, all right, calm down. But all right, legit. Okay, she wants to be called a woman. I don't know anybody who wants to be called anything but woman or man, even if they're trans. I feel like most trans who... Oh, God, this is... Ready? All right. I feel like most trans people who want to be called anything other than woman or man, like there's something... They're doing it for attention. Like they're doing it to be contrarian, and I feel like they're doing it just so that you'll give them something to fight against. Because the women that I've met, like that one, she wants to be called a fucking woman. She cut off her dick. She earned like, hey, call me a bitch, man. Yeah. Like, you know what I mean? I may have been a dude, but I didn't feel it. And I'm more respect to her. But somebody who's wants to be not even called woman or man, like you want to be called Zer?
Yeah.
You want to be called two-spirit, like you want to like.
Yeah. See,
you're just being dishonest with yourself.
Burn all that shit with fire.
I was trying to be tactful.
I don't even know how real any of that is, and it for sure is not real enough to waste time and energy at a time like this.
Or taxpayer dollars.
Yeah, or cashola. But a trans woman comedian, so just like a trans woman wrestler, she must be the funniest woman comedian there's ever been.
Oh, God, that's funny.
You heard about the
dude, Bonnie McFarlane, though. Bonnie McFarlane is legit fucking funny.
I don't know what
She's
that
a
is.
Female comedian. She's fucking hilarious.
There's funny women, of course there is.
I know. But like even when I like search my... Man, poor Sarah Silverman, dude. She just lost it. Yeah. God, I had to block her all the way. I had just be like, I gotta get away. I'm sorry, cutie pie. Like,
yeah.
I've jerked off to you. Like, so I have to like raise her jersey into the rafters.
Oh, that's a sad day.
It is a sad day because you're outward. I mean, the fact that she used to make all kinds of offensive jokes, and now she's just, I'm just not understanding things, and I just need to be more. Like, how could I Love You, America be funny? How could it? How could it? Unless it, I mean, that's my favorite comedians skewer every side, not just
hateful.
one.
Yeah, it's hateful. I got a meme today of Trump and Kanye hugging, and then the next picture is Samuel L. and DiCaprio hugging in Django. In Django Unchained. That's funny shit, But you know why it's not funny is because the person sending it to me
was doing it intentionally,
filled with hate.
Right.
There's no lightheartedness there, And it's not funny because
they're not intending it as
just
funny.
Said Don Lemon's calling Kanye. That's what happens when Negroes don't read. He's dropping the Chris Rock line on him on the news, and a whole panel was laughing at this. When today
a panel of black people, or
and one white dude who looked very uncomfortable.
Right.
And then they laughed at him for being uncomfortable.
Right. Look at all the power we have.
When at the same time, Kanye West might have single-handedly, today, made it so the President of the United States doesn't enact stop and frisk in Chicago, which is what he was going towards.
See, when I heard that, I was like, wait a second. I thought right-leaning people were into the stop and frisk thing, and it's not something
A lot of them are not.
Oh.
A lot of them
meaning
are
the more libertarian or
yes,
the more...
like, fuck off my body. No unreasonable search
wow,
and
you're
seizure.
fucking right.
Like, I agree with Trump all the time, but this is too far. I've been hearing a lot of that.
Wait a second. Yeah, I heard him say that, and I'm like... and I didn't have a chance to, like, really listen to the whole thing, because I've been busy or whatever. But, like, yeah, I heard Kanye talking about stop and frisk, and I'm... Okay, so isn't that something that the liberals want? Don't they want that?
Of course not, because it disproportionately targets people of color.
Right, so they want it to stop is what I'm saying.
They want it to stop.
So why won't they give them credit? That seems a little sad.
They completely ignored it. Kanye walked in the Oval Office...
and said stop from frisk shouldn't be happening.
And convinced the president, not just any president, Donald Trump, and in front of a live audience of reporters, Trump was pretty much as I think he can say it, said, all right, I won't do it, What he said was, all right, I'll have an open mind, and, I'm available to listen, and he basically just made policy. Kanye West walking in. And this president inspired Kanye to get Adidas to open up factories in the hood, in Chicago.
Really?
Made in America.
Really?
Adidas.
Really?
This is happening.
What?
Yes.
Who did that?
Kanye got Adidas to do that, inspired by our president. And we all just want to laugh, and fucking everybody wants to start calling Kanye a house Negro now. And it's just hilarious. It's fucking sick what's going on. There's
who's in the fucking
happening.
sunken place? If someone's, maybe the rhetoric doesn't, that's the thing I was thinking about. It's like, okay, the words might not be, but like, who's doing actually more for the black people?
Hey, Kim Kardashian got that one chick pardoned out of jail from a trip to the White House.
Isn't that what liberals are into? I don't know why you guys aren't. I don't know why the left isn't giving them credit.
They can't give him an ounce. They can't give him a drop.
Right.
It's the craziest thing I've ever seen.
Do you think we're guilty on this side as well? Of not giving the other side good shit? Like, I mean, good,
I never hear anything good.
Hang on, let me try to think of one.
Yeah.
Here, put the mic a little closer.
I'll give you. I can always give him everything. Say Putin completely colluded and got Trump elected. For what? What bad has happened? Say the whole thing was real, that Trump is some bumbling, stumbling fucking imbecile, but at the same time he's masterminding stealing a presidential election with Russia, Vladimir Putin. Say this happened, and he's installed. He's an illegitimate president because of $100,000 worth of Facebook ads and shitty Reddit posts.
Which is nothing. Which is nothing.
Nothing. Say this happened. So what? What has happened since then?
Yeah. Okay. I mean, I get, I hear what you're saying. Yeah, I hear what you're saying.
I mean, what do you hear? I never hear a solid argument, ever. Orange man bad. Done.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing, is that there isn't really one. I mean, I like her as a person. The only reason why I'm sharing more about this is because I know she's not going to listen, but like, I knew in that moment that, like, having Kimberly on this was a good example of somebody who's like, okay, this is not going to be a debate. Like my brother Will. Have you listened to that episode?
No, I just
heard
that
one's a fucking great one.
Scissors.
Do you know the story?
I heard.
Oh, you heard it on Allie's. Yeah. I'm sorry. That dude back at that parking lot told me that, and I had to share it with the world. Apparently. Anyway, so my brother is. I mean, he's funny and he makes fucked up jokes, and but like he was actually able to, like, okay, I disagree on this, and like, so we had a good kind of conversation about it.
Nice.
But I know him well enough, and maybe it's just that, but also I think it's just he is confident enough in being wrong, or in having the conversation where he can be wrong or I can be wrong, for us to like test each other and not take it personal, number one, and number two, not go crazy emotional. Mm-hmm. And I don't think I know like anybody else, and maybe it's just because, I mean, my brother Will does have a giant vagina, but besides that, fuck you. But besides that, maybe it's because of male versus female, but I don't know a lot of people who are on the left leaning who I could come in and be like, all right, but hang on, let's like really pick this apart and not take it personally and not go emotional. Because I want to sit across from somebody on the left who knows me to go like, listen, I'm not racist. I mean, I'm kind of racist, but not like racist.
Right.
Like I fucking make fun of Asians for driving, and I think fucking, I think a lot of motherfuckers like, I say nigga, and I don't believe that it's that welfare's cool. You know what I mean? And I feel like a lot of people in the black community are like just resting and not. And by the way, I didn't invent that. It's not a made up thing. One of the fucking coolest, most balls thing in the world. And I'm taking advantage of it, by the way. I'm lying to the... I was thinking about it today. Nobody tell anybody, but I'm lying to the San Francisco government about where I live so that I can get some health insurance.
Hey.
By the way, what other fucking podcast host will be honest about that, all right? At least I have the fucking balls to do it, cocksuckers. Patreon, cocksuckers. Anyway. But, I mean, it's not the black community like loving, taking advantage of welfare is not a new idea. It's fucking ODB on his fucking album. That's one of the ballsiest moves in the world. Do you remember that? Where the album cover is his fucking welfare card, and yet he's a giant fucking recording artist.
Sure, ODB. What about Lyndon B. Johnson, who orchestrated the entire plan of putting black people on welfare, keeping them on welfare, to keep them voting Democrat? We can go back a lot further.
Right.
Anyway. Famous, hailed as a hero, Democrat.
I want to have a liberal on so I could, like, hey, you know I'm not racist. Yeah. Like, I'm not sexist. I say bitch. Yeah. But, like, you know, and I fucking, you know, I'm trying to be honest about myself sexually. But, like, you know, I'm not a piece of shit. So why am I not thinking that Trump is Satan? Like, is it, you know, oh, it must be, they're just uninformed. Like, anyway, sorry.
It's hard. That's been a hard part of trying to have discussions with people. Because I'm not surrounded by a bunch of white men.
What do you mean?
Far from it, actually. Like I don't have a circle of straight white men that I consort with, you know, and smoke cigars and talk about straight white men things. Not by any stretch of the imagination. So when I have discussions with people I know in my life, that stumbling block coming up, you know, of where like, oh, you're just straight white male. You know,
because
like,
you don't hang around with a lot of straight white males.
Well, just the fact that our discussions get stuck at that point, you know?
Right.
You can go further, friend. You can go further.
Because I'm not fully white.
You can take this torch, you know?
Well, who was it? I think it was Gavin who said, like, he was like, we're not going to be able to actually have a conversation about it until we have a black trans who's also fat, a black trans woman who's fat, who's also has a disability, and then we'll be able to have a conversation about it. But, like, I don't think my fucking identity should dictate what I believe, and nor do the black people I know. Honestly, the only black people who are fucking carrying the torch for the big old left is not meaning big old left, meaning the bitch version of it, like the crazy left side, is college black girls. That's it. Who, by the way, ask any motherfucking black dude, and they'll tell you, them motherfuckers can be off the fucking chain sometimes. All right? I didn't make that shit up. It's a fucking stereotype for a goddamn reason. Okay? But you have that amount of power that a black woman can have, and I'm not saying systematic power, but I'm saying a black woman can say whatever the fuck she wants. Literally, and believe anywhere. Right? But no, I mean socially. Like Patrice used to say.
Without getting shit back, you mean?
Right.
Okay.
Patrice O'Neill used to say, I can almost say almost everything I want. Like, black women can say fucking anything. Call a guy a faggot at McDonald's. You know what I mean? Like, with no social repercussions. But, and white people, especially white men, can say fucking nothing. Right? And Patrice O'Neill said this 10 fucking years ago, but I guess now it's gotten way worse, and now all of a sudden...
It's gotten a little worse, yeah.
And now all of a sudden, oh, poor white men who are so fun... Listen, a black motherfucker said it. It's not just us. Anyway.
Poor Kavanaugh. Oh, my God. To be the focus of not only every legitimately raped woman, but the millions of faux raped women... And the millions of bandwagon raped women, plus being the white male. I mean, this dude is the most Chad. He's a Chad virgin. He's the perfect white male. And just to be the focus, he's the trifecta.
You feel that?
Of
you
evil.
Feel the ass puckers?
To just get all of that energy focused on you.
All right. So proud. Why don't we start open?
I am so proud of that.
Why don't we start opening this can of worms? Because unless there was more to that. See, there's so much like topics that we're passing.
It just goes on. Okay. As soon as you start talking about the left and all the weird genders and the fucking whoever on college campus, it's made to just be a labyrinth that you cannot make it out of. It's a complete waste of time. It's why I don't spend my time owning the libs and liberal tears, because it's just fucking, it's fun, but it's pointless. There's a lot going on right now. I'm looking for the facts inside of all the bullshit articles that I can bring to the table.
And God, I mean, fucking, again, I'm uninformed. I'm certainly not as informed as you, or I'm sure some people who are listening. But I'm grateful that at least Trump is not focused as much. I mean, he may let it out in little tweets and, you know, take shit personally and be a little emotionally immature. And by a little, I mean a lot. But at least he's getting shit done. And like, there's always, like you said, oh, this is the bombshell. Every 5 seconds there's a bombshell, and it rolls off of him because he's more focused on the actual work. You know what I mean? And that's good. That's really, really good. So I think every president has that. But like,
what was it? Complex geopolitical situation that has vexed and confounded the best minds for generations. Took me 2 minutes, you know.
It really it's
took me 2 minutes.
It's very true.
Yeah.
What I mean, can you imagine? I can't even imagine Obama saying, even in a very tactful way, that he's got a bigger button. In a very tactful way, I can't imagine him saying to North Korea, "Well, we'll blow them off the face of the earth," even in a tactful way, because he just didn't have the balls that
he said it to Iran. There's a red line in the sand. Walked right over it. Didn't do a fucking thing to Iran.
And all Trump had to do was like, "Oh, he's got a button. Mine's bigger."
What about the best tweet of all time, which I have in a frame?
Well, you have it in a frame.
I've tried to be his friend. Maybe someday that will happen. Talking about Kim Jong-un, you know, like. This is the president tweeting this shit out, you know?
Right.
Like, it's all bad right now, like, but, you know, I've tried to be his friend, and maybe someday that will happen. I love it, dude.
You know what? That's a very New York douchebag businessman way to do things.
Yeah.
Because that's actually, you know, you got to coddle the guy's ego a little bit sometimes, and sometimes you got to wave your dick. And sometimes you got to go like, "Hey, man, it would be a great privilege to work with you." You know what I mean? And he sunned him, by saying that. He was like, sunned him with faux respect. You know what I mean? By saying that. That's interesting. So Kavanaugh. Let's open that up. So
Kavabra.
So you're actually quite informed about this, apparently.
I followed it pretty intensely.
Was this the first thing? It doesn't sound like it's the first thing that you decided to just completely dunk your head into. Oh, no,
I've been on the shit since the WikiLeaks drops from all of Podesta's emails from Hillary's campaign.
Okay.
The so-called Russian hack.
Okay. Now, again, ladies and gentlemen, before we're getting into this, I'm going to definitely preface this by saying I don't really know what the fuck I'm talking about. But, I mean, then again, if you're listening to this, you already know that. And number two, that doesn't negate my experience. That doesn't negate my opinions. So fuck off. So on both sides. I'm not just saying, what I'm saying is, don't take it so goddamn personally. How about that? Anyway, but I will say that one of the things I wanted to point out before we get into this is the fact that you're not a rah-rah Republican, like you said, and you're not rah-rah Democrat. You're not rah-rah anything.
I'm rah-rah MAGA. I'm very rah-rah for this president.
Okay. But outside of that,
I have no allegiances.
Okay. So, how do we unpack this? Unless you know of a starting point you'd like to talk about.
Starting point for Kavanaugh, huh? We can jump into where it really fell apart and how the left. I come from studying certain disciplines that believe that bad things that happen to you were set up in advance by you.
Okay.
You pretty much set things up. When bad things happen later, you go, "Oh, why did it happen?" But if you take a good look,
you
did things to make it happen somehow.
Right.
And when the left jumped onto Michael Avenatti, the fucking worst caricature.
Michael Avenatti is the
lawyer.
Yeah, the
Stormy's lawyer.
Creepy porn lawyer.
CPL. Creepy porn lawyer. That's right.
Tucker's a cunt, man. I like that motherfucker.
Tucker. It's like a big bag of Cheetos, you know?
Right.
10 bags of gummy worms. Because it's junk food. But it's fun. But when they jumped on Stormy and CPL and they were parading them around, months ago, you mean? Love it. Yeah, months ago. I love it when they do shit like that because it's just a joke, you know? So when he came back with Swetnick, the second or third accuser, who said Kavanaugh was spiking the punch with grain alcohol or drugs, one or the other, and then proceeding to gang rape women upstairs. Not once, not twice, not 3 times, but she went to 10 of these drugging and gang raping parties. That's how she knows he's down with this. Oh, I mean, it might not have happened without Avenatti. I got to give him a lot of thanks, you know?
You got greedy. Avenatti got greedy. The left got greedy to keep this this person who was nominated by Trump out.
Oh yeah,
until the Senate could, until they could win, hopefully in their minds, in October or November. But okay,
when the drugging and the gang raping came out, I threw up. I mean, we got this. If it was just Christine blatant fraud or whatever her name is. If it was just
you think
her,
it's blatant? All right, let's pause it. Let's pause it there. Let's piece that apart a little bit. I didn't see the whole thing. Obviously, you did.
Did you listen to her?
I listened to a little bit of it. I didn't see her. I think maybe something happened to her, but I don't think that it was necessarily Ford or Kavanaugh. But I mean, I'm not saying that, and I've talked about it. You heard me talk about it on the podcast. I've known multiple women on this podcast.
You're going to heaven, sir.
No, I've known multiple women who know women who've lied about rape. So I'm not saying I believe Ford. I guess from what I heard of her testimony, I'm like, okay, it doesn't sound like she's full of shit. To you, personally alone, did it sound like Ford was full of shit?
It sounded like she was completely full of shit.
Okay, in what way?
First off is tone of voice. If you haven't watched the video of the Star Wars voice lady imitating her, it's fucking hilarious.
Star Wars voice lady.
I guess this voice actress, does voicing for a Star Wars movie. And she did like a quick 5-minute video where she imitates Christine blatant fraud perfectly to a T. Nails it. It's just the quivering voice.
Okay.
But for 40 minutes, it just seems so staged and so phony.
Right.
Just off top, just from the tone of voice, sure. But, I mean, the rest of the story just doesn't make any sense. I don't even know
story
what she's
alone,
going through.
Right. Okay, besides her seeing, if you had to just base it on her testimony, which it shouldn't be, you should go from evidence. But if we had to, you're saying you don't believe it, but mostly because she seems full of shit from the tone of her voice.
Just from the tone of voice. If you want to take down, if they were just words on paper which she was actually erasing and changing in real time while testifying, if you just want to take the final draft of her words on paper,
right,
there's nothing there. There's a sad story, if it's true at all.
Okay. So now let's back it up a little bit too, because I remember someone made a really good point, which was as far as that last one, not Lindsay Sterling. Who was the third broad?
Schwetnick.
Schwetnick.
Or wait, no, was it the dick on the forehead girl?
Dick on the forehead girl was second.
Yeah. Schwetnick was third. The gang rapes came out last.
Now, if everyone listening to this, I know if the left-leaning women definitely believe all women, wouldn't they be much more outraged over, like, the story from that girl? The gang rape gal? Why is the meme, why is the, time cover lady Ford? Right? Because it seems like what happened, if it's true, to the third one, goddamn gang rape, apparently multiple times, gang rape, would be a much better poster child.
Yeah.
Right?
Right.
If you're going to prop up somebody as a poster child. And again, you said, I believe all women, Megan fucking Mullally and all you cunts.
Yeah.
Like, and I love Megan Mullally, but like every female star was like, I believe. Nobody said a word about believing the third one.
No, it didn't. And you got to cut them some slack, though, because when they threw her up on an interview, I don't know which...
Who, the third one?
The third one.
Okay.
If you haven't seen that interview, it's something to behold, because...
Here, put the mic a little closer to your face.
In real time, she goes from, drugging and being a part of these trains or gang rapes to he was just there near the punch bowl, may or may not have put anything into the punch, may or may not have participated, he may have just been in the area.
Right.
Actually, I have no fucking idea. So she completely destroyed her own story.
Okay.
So you can't really blame people for not sticking up for her because
I'm glad she folded or whatever, but I still do blame them. And because when you use a blanket statement like believe all women, I'm fine with the hashtag believe forward. But when you start to say, when you shorten it and say believe, you are now attributing honesty as a blanket to a whole gender. And I've actually been in relationships with you fucking people. Like, I've actually, I don't think any whole race or gender, I know lots of humans, and you already know through our own spiritual practices, everybody I know is full of fucking shit. Everybody I know. Not like when, I'm saying we all have the capacity of incredible cruelty, incredible dishonesty, and incredible manipulation, self-centeredness. So why would I just assume it's believe all women? Because if you want to hashtag believe forward, fine, but come on.
Why? Because what would she have to gain? There's people mailing the president poison. There's a hatred. There's a hatred for this president unseen.
Yeah, it's true.
What would they have to gain? Fucking, it's balls to the wall right now.
Right.
There's assassination attempts, chaos in the streets, people getting beat down. What they have to gain is power and shutting down this president, which has obviously blinded a good percentage of the population to acting off the wall, batshit insane.
Right.
They have everything to gain if you're just talking about politics.
If we're just talking about politics, I don't think she necessarily would have anything to gain.
Besides,
in the sense of
she lives in Palo Alto. People are like, oh, her GoFundMe raised $1 million. True. She's got a house in Palo Alto, or 3, She's not really tripping off another $1 million to where she'd go through all this.
Right.
I'll give you that. But more important than money is this ideology. She's a pink pussy hat wearing activist. She's fucking out there.
So she's in it for them. And if she really believes herself a martyr, you could do all kinds. You would die.
Throw it
Humans are capable of literally sacrificing their lives if they think they're a martyr.
Yes.
So, okay. So let's all right.
I mean, just attack her. Let's attack Christine directly. She can't fly to the hearing because she doesn't like to fly. This bitch is flying everywhere. Vacations here. Visit a friend here. She's over here. She's flying all over the place.
Really?
She flew to the hearing after she said she couldn't fly to the hearing. Said she wanted to drive across the country. Immediate bullshit. Obvious bullshit. Red flag. Huge.
Right. Now, could it be possible... I don't believe this, but could it be possible that that's because she doesn't want to face her attacker?
I'm sure she didn't want to face her attacker. The Democrats sold her out. They pimped her out bad. She is a victim in that way. She wanted to send a little anonymous letter to Feinstein, have Feinstein bring it up, cause a little cloud of suspicion, and see if it goes.
Right.
She's talking to the wrong Democrats at the wrong time in history. Because Feinstein sat on that letter and looked at it and said, no. We're going all the way, baby.
It's completely... That was even before Christine came up. Nobody remembers this, but it was hard for me to remember. And then I was like, wait a second. They were literally stomping their feet and screaming even at the start of the hearings. Remember?
Oh, they had multiple signs with all the different people's names on it that night. So whoever he picked, they could pick up the sign and write their name on it and be like, yeah, stop that dude.
Right.
It didn't matter who it was.
But the days of the hearings, they start up, and Kamala, I don't know if it was Kamala herself, but like multiple people were like screaming and standing up. And oh yeah, Cory fucking stupid ass Booker was up there yelling about some shit. Yeah. Everybody was like throwing a fucking hissy fit over this.
Yeah.
So, and I remember that one time also, where was the time where they also were like, the media was like, he didn't shake that guy's hand. The father of the victim of Parkland.
That guy got right up next to him. Where's the fucking protection at?
Right. So they were trying to pin it on that. They were like, He doesn't care about, I mean, this whole judicial committee doesn't care about black people because they shut down Cory Booker. Like, no, we have a system. Yeah. We have a system in place to protect so that the principle stays more important than the personality.
Yeah.
So that the principle of, that's the whole point of the whole voting system. That's the whole point of democracy in general, is like, so that the principle stays more important, so that we all are served over one person. Mm-hmm. And yet we all have to stop. Our whole system needs to grind to a halt because Cory Booker, a black person, said something. You know what I mean? Like, seriously? Like, or I heard it when from a recording when Mitch McConnell was walking through the airport a few days ago, I think it was, and these apparently black trans woman or whatever was like following him through the airport, yelling at him. And then making herself the victim because you're like, oh, you don't want to listen to me because I'm black and like, what? Like, no, we have a system in place. It's called a democracy. You lost. We have a system in place. If I am a diehard Rams fan, diehard, to the point where I'm willing to fucking bleed for the Rams.
Yeah.
And my team loses, I don't get to run onto the field and sock Drew Brees in the face. I don't get to do that because there's a system at place. I can try to bolster up my team. I can try to fucking, send out tweets to try to, like change the score. I can vote. I can go to Rams games even harder the next year and buy a whole season ticket, to like make my team the shit, right? Yeah. Next year.
Yeah.
But if I lost, I don't get to shout in the middle of the fucking in the middle of the team, the press conference where the fucking, you know what I mean, where like the captain of the fucking say it's New Orleans, where the captain of New Orleans is talking about the game or talking about the upcoming game. I don't get to throw a shoe at him. I don't got to stop him in the airport. I don't get to do that because we have a system in place to protect against us getting fucked. But if you constantly are hammering us all over the head that we're getting fucked and that the guy is racist and that the guy is sexist, then of course we would fight quote-unquote evil. Of course we would punch a Nazi.
But attack them wherever they are. Don't let them eat in restaurants. Accost them whenever you see them. Give them no peace. Things will not be civil until we take over again.
And I agree with them if the premise was true, but the premise isn't true, and you guys have got it all fucked up.
Why? Don't you see all the gay camps everywhere?
But it's too late for us to go back to the premise.
There's gay internment camps everywhere. They're all being locked up and shipped away. Haven't you noticed?
Right.
There's no more gay people around because Pence electrocuted them all. Don't you see what's happening here?
Did you see Fleck? You like Fleckus?
Fleckus. Oh, he's great.
I love Fleckus.
That dude is great.
There was so he's this big, I think he's Latin, maybe Latin white mix, but he goes to these Trump rallies or to these Antifa rallies and to these other people's leftist rallies and whatever, and just interviews them.
Yeah, very unassuming.
Very unassuming, and just talks them in their own little box and puts a little bow on it. Yeah. You know what I mean? And there was this one guy who literally had he was like, Pence wants to electrocute gays. And he's like, oh, okay. When did he say that? Like, first he set him up with a couple of, like, softball.
Right.
But then he, like, when did he say that?
Yeah, he's great.
Well, I don't really know the particular... It's great. Anyway, okay, sorry. We're talking about Kavanaugh. So they were fucked up and going and throwing... Can you really blame the Republicans for thinking, like, hey, you guys were already trying to throw fucking all kinds of tantrums before Ford even came in? So can we even start to, like, from that premise of going, like, I don't know if, like, can you blame the Republicans for not being all gung-ho and trusting?
Oh, right. I mean, it was obvious to everyone watching until you bring in emotions of I was raped and I'm fighting for women. Until that gets brought in, it's obviously all a charade. I mean, the fact Feinstein sat on the letter throughout the entire process. Private interviews. She got it, I think, end of July, right? She got it, end of July. She got the letter from Christine. Had a million chances to do it and bring it up. Let me just start with the ending because the shit just spins in circles, and in the end, the motherfucker's on the court for life. Suck a dick, you know? And on top of that, I am so proud of those goddamn Republicans teaming up. I mean, seeing Cocaine Mitch just go off, Chuck Grassley handling business. I can't believe I'm saying these words.
Cocaine Mitch was supposed to be the bad nickname that there was the guy who was running against him.
Yeah.
Like you're just adopting it as a good.
And sweet Lindsey Graham just coming out batting for the fences. Lindsey Graham's speech is one of the best speeches on the current state of the left.
Oh, where he like
Lindsey Graham's takedown.
After the
this was
hearing.
No, this was during the hearing. I forget at which point, but if you look up Lindsey Graham, just fiery speech Kavanaugh debate when he's speaking from behind the chair. No, it was while they were actually interviewing Kavanaugh. During his question and answer session, Lindsey Graham's speech he just sums up the bullshit of the situation perfectly. But the point is, the happy ending for everything, if there can be such a thing, which there can't, Susan Collins' speech.
Who's Susan Collins?
Susan Collins is one of the Republicans who wanted the FBI investigation, who was unsure, who does not want to make anything rush. She went with Jeff Flake and she said, look, we need another week. We need to wait or I will vote no. You got to give me this investigation. Right. We got to find out more.
Okay.
And when she came out after that FBI investigation was completed, her whole speech is 40 minutes long, and it is the best 40 minutes that you can spend on this topic because she breaks down every single point from every single angle. All the way from he's not going to rip Roe versus Wade out of the courts. It's not that big of an issue. He's not gunning for Roe versus Wade to I'm a full supporter of the Me Too movement, and this doesn't have any standing on that, to proof of evidence, she runs the whole gamut in 40 minutes. You can even skip the first 20 minutes if you want. The last 20 minutes of her speech, I had a woman crying in my living room, a good friend of mine, who came over crying. Been assaulted before, been raped before. I love this woman dearly. And she was crying in my living room, and it's the same as election night. I was in the Dutch Goose in Palo Alto on election night, watching Trump win and watching the people just dismayed all around me, and I'm like the only one there just smiling so big. There was women crying to me that night, not understanding what was happening, scared for their life. The same thing happened with the Kavanaugh thing. The woman comes over crying to my house. I sat her down with the Susan Collins thing, and I just had her sit there and listen to it. And I love this woman dearly, and she's not your average. We get into good debates, and so it worked. She was able to sit down because Susan just breaks it down all the way through. Now, how does Susan get repaid? You fucking dumb bitch. From respect all women to women are. You got to be independent thinkers, women, and you got to go. She gets repaid zero respect, Right. They had a blackmail campaign where they had to GoFundMe for her opponent with hella money in it.
Wow.
And they would only pay if she voted yes on Kavanaugh.
Jesus.
If she would have voted no on Kavanaugh, the GoFundMe would not have gone to her challenger. And people set this up and they told her about it. They're like, if you vote yes on Kavanaugh, we're giving your opponent, whatever it is, hundreds of thousands of dollars. And if you vote no on Kavanaugh, we won't give your opponent this money. This is out-of-state people. This is worldwide people fucking meddling in elections. Election meddling is right there.
Right.
But Susan Collins' speech, nobody can sum it up better than that. She laboriously goes through point by point.
But see, the thing is that the women who are big on, literally, and not just women. I keep bringing these guys up, but I love Nick Offerman, dude. Nick Offerman is fucking funny, dude. Parks and Rec was hilarious, right? And he's a funny motherfucker.
Oh, Ron.
Yeah, Ron.
My dude, Ron, yeah.
But he literally said, I had to block him on Twitter.
He's the worst.
All I got through the first sentence was, this proves that the government or the Senate or whatever does not care about women. And I'm like, okay, all right, I gotta go. I'm sorry, baby, but I gotta go. Why would you? I know that the people are like me, not informed. Like, let's just sit down and have a conversation. You know what I mean?
You don't have to be informed. It's not an excuse. You know enough to know this isn't a women's rights forum. This is a fucking judicial appointment to the highest court of the United States. It's not about caring about women. Every woman projected all of their fucking trauma. Women have so much trauma. They get treated so shitty. It's a fact, you know? But all of that got projected onto Christine and onto Brett Kavanaugh. It's just not fair. And it's not what's happening here.
Again, it's people on the left are working from a faulty premise.
Completely.
If the premise was true, absolutely burn him at the not burn him at the stake, but don't let him in. Believe that. But like, the faulty premise is what I have a problem with, and the problem that I see over and over. Get mad at me, girls, but like, y'all are not understanding the context. Y'all are not understanding the premise. And if you want to fucking get mad at me, again, email me, cocksucker. Come on, and cocksucker with all the love of my heart. But like, come on in here and let's do it. You know what I mean? Let's talk about it. But like, you can't even, not only can they not even hear what you're saying, they don't even want to hear. I mean, there are going to be people who have listened to every episode, but until I tease the fact that we start talking about Kavanaugh, they won't even fucking start to broach the subject. They won't even listen to this episode. I had multiple people, when I said, hey, I'm going to have a Proud Boy on, they said, why would you give that guy a platform? And I had to be nice and gentle and say, come on, boop, 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 boop. Come on, it's okay. I know. It's racist. It's okay. Just listen to. I know. The evil racist. Just listen. It's gonna be all right. Just listen to them. I can't tell you how many times I said, just listen.
Yeah.
Just listen. I don't agree with everything the motherfucker said. I don't agree with anything. How could I possibly? I'm a human being with my own experience.
And what did he
Most
say
people I disagree with on at least
crazy?
10% of things.
I would hope so, or else you're lying.
Right. But like, why do I can't have a
No.
Just jump in,
because
girls.
the important
it's not
part
that
is
bad.
he wasn't a Nazi. He blew out everything that makes people question his ability to even speak because he's so evil. He can blow that out in 10 seconds, and the rest is just normal details.
Right. The
And that's
premise
how all
you're
of this
working
shit
from
is.
is faulty.
Yeah. And
Liberals.
it's a major stumbling block. Poor Kavanaugh. Poor Kavanaugh.
Now,
what a savage.
I will say that one of the things they kept doing in the Kavanaugh thing is they, like Ben Shapiro says, they moved the goalpost.
Yeah.
Okay, so the goalpost was, okay, we'll let you put this guy through, but we need to stop him because, what was it? Because
documents.
The documents, we didn't get enough time to read the documents. Okay, yes. And then they moved it to, well, because he's gonna, which they were never just honest, saying like, we don't like this guy in here because he might try to fuck with our stuff, our left-leaning policies. So we're now gonna poo-poo our diaper right now, and we're honest about it. First it was the documents, then it was, he didn't even shake that guy's hand from the Parkland survivor's father, the fucking balls, come on, and then it was Ford, and then once it wasn't Ford, or in the middle of the Ford stuff, then it was this other person, and then it was this other person. Okay, now it's sexual assault as a whole, he's just a bad person, and then it was, he lied about drinking games, right. Like, you know what I mean, like, and then it wasn't that. Oh, it's because he was too emotional. Like, do you understand? You're just moving the goalpost. When we check off all these boxes, let's talk about the lying about the drinking game thing. I've been alive for 32 years. I've never heard the fucking Devil's Triangle. I have no idea what the fuck that is. I'm sorry, I don't know what the fuck that is.
I didn't go to Yale either, I'm sure there's all kinds of cool shit they do.
And Kavanaugh's a fucking, by the way, dork ass motherfucker for staying a virgin. He's a dude.
He's a virgin Chad. It's unheard of. He's the perfect man. He's the perfect human being.
He's willing to expose himself as a unfucked man until his deep 20s, I guess, mid to deep 20s. Yeah. Like, come on. That's got to count for something. Yeah. To have the balls to say, you know what? I didn't have sex because I'm so blah, blah, blah. Like, was it even religious stuff?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Okay.
You say, why wasn't church on my calendar? Because brushing my teeth isn't on my calendar. It's just a guarantee.
What a little dork, man. What a little fucking dork. But anyway, as far as the drinking game thing, what was the point I was going to say? Oh, because these stuff, like as an example, I guess, something like Devil's Triangle. I can't think of a better example that fits my personal experience. But these things that get... Oh, chode is a good example. Chode. You know what a chode is? What's a chode?
It's a short, fat dick.
Apparently, some people think it's a gooch. You know what a gooch is?
What?
A gooch is the space in between your balls and your... Yeah, the taint. Some people call the taint a chode.
No.
Yes.
No.
I'm telling you, people who are outside of the Bay Area, people in the Bay Area know a chode to be a dick that is fatter than it is long.
Yes.
Right? But the same shit can be true with Devil's fucking Triangle. Sorry. It can meet these little myths and stupid little shits we pass back and forth. Can be, I mean, that's what urban legend was all about. Like, it's just stuff that we say because we're stupid and we're unfucked and we're in high school. Like, we're just stupid kids passing shit around.
It's definitely Eiffel Towering a woman. That's definitely what it is. That's definitely what was happening. And that totally matters for some reason, but I can't quite.
Not just that, but they also said they attached rape to it, too. Eiffel Towering is okay. You
That's
know what I mean?
all it is.
Yeah, plenty of girls like Chinese finger cuffs. You know what I mean? It's just, but now they attached they sewed rape into it because apparently if you're part of a Devil's Triangle, like then okay, you know what I mean? Like it's like these people don't even know any women. Like like women can be sluts all the time, and it's a wonderful thing. And I love you, girls. Sluts are the best. You're the best. You know what I mean? And every woman listening to this is a dirty little fucking something.
So good.
I knew some girl who, when she was a kid, maybe I shouldn't say this. God damn it!
Do it.
No, I'm not gonna do it. Son of a bitch!
You can't not do it.
She would masturbate in a very specific way, and it involved just balling up like a blanket or a pillow and just like laying on her stomach and like that's a dirty
What's
little...
so weird about that?
Exactly.
I've
No,
heard
I'm
that
not
story
saying it is.
100 times.
I know, I'm not saying it is weird, but I'm saying like that's a kid, right? Okay, if that's your starting point, that's all of our starting points. We're all dirty little fucking humans. You're gonna tell me that you don't know what a woman who would be willing to suck Harvey Weinstein's dick to get famous?
For a part, yeah.
Come on, dude. You're lying.
You don't know 100 women that wouldn't say shit about him actually raping a woman to not jeopardize their parts in a movie? Ooh. Talk about, what the fuck, Alyssa Milano? With her dumbass face poking around at the Kavanaugh hearing when her best friend, Rose McGowan, was raped by Harvey Weinstein, supposedly, listening, believing all women. And she doesn't say shit for years?
She knew?
Of course. Everyone knew.
Yeah.
Matt Damon... I thought the Saturday Night Live sketch of Kavanaugh, I thought that was hilarious. People were pretty butthurt about it. I thought it was fucking funny.
Oh, look, and see that, by the way, ladies and gentlemen, that's a very good example. See, now this is a Kavanaugh supporter who was able to laugh at a skit about Kavanaugh. See how that works? That's called humor. That's called context. See that? Bathe in it, dipshits.
I thought it was great. I thought it was one of the best things I've seen on Saturday Night Live in a while. But you know what? What's the fucking... Matt Damon is up there doing that great act. Matt Damon knew about Harvey Weinstein the whole time, and he's up there being the fucking joke of Brett Kavanaugh. Right. That is just layers and layers of deliciousness on top of that.
It's just irony as a motherfucker. Yeah, I was gonna say that about I saw this meme, this Ben Shapiro meme. Did you see that one I posted? Let me show you.
No,
it's fucking hilarious. And I love my stupid little Ben Shapiro. But listen, watch this. Hang on. Scrolling past the porn. All right, look. This is.
I got to yell at a Kavanaugh protest. That was great.
Look at this.
Yeah.
It's a picture of Ben Shapiro with his face all like down. It says, "Mom said you guys have to find a game that's 3 players." That's your boy. That's exactly Ben Shapiro. I'm not saying he's my boy. I'm just saying I like the motherfucker.
That's your boy.
But he is a dorky motherfucker. Yeah, Mom said you guys have to.
Donald Trump is the fucking worst. Donald Trump will never be good.
No, he doesn't say that.
Yeah.
He's not a never Trumper.
Oh, yes.
He didn't vote for Trump, but he defends a lot of Trump stuff. Absolutely. He has good Trump, bad Trump.
For PR. Good Trump, bad. Oh, you haven't dug enough. Almost
I listen to his show a lot. He defends Trump.
He does. And I was listening to it for a while, and he ripped on Trump so hard, and still does.
Right.
Every chance he gets, he throws a fucking elbow in there. He pisses me off, dude.
But are you okay? Is it a possibility that you're so Trump to the point where you're blinded from the bad shit he does?
Completely. But
do you? What are some of the things that you think he does that are shitty? Hang on, let me see. I like that. Is that a Matrix? No, what is that?
I don't know what it's from, but it's a meme of a giant tank. Trump. Tank is running over a car. They're flying down the highway. Tank is running over a car. The car is the Russians. In quotation marks. There's a guy jumping from the getting crushed Russians car. Democrats. Onto a speeding car called Stopping Kavanaugh. From one disaster to the next.
Right. I mean, yeah, memes are really funny. But what I mean about that Ben Shapiro is because I can laugh at that motherfucker.
He's great.
I can appreciate the fact that, you know, there's humor even in the people I love, and I'm coming from the premise of other people are humans. And that's the whole point of this podcast. Like I said, other people are they're just dirty little humans. We're amazing and we're shitty at the same time, and calm the fuck down. This is not that important. Yeah, you can have some gum. Have some gum.
These are now and laters.
Oh, they are?
Yeah, both.
No, I think it's now and later gum, isn't it?
Oh, God.
Eat this fucking Ferrero Rocher or this butter popcorn because...
What were we going to say about Ben? I love Ben. Ben's great. I just hate him. He's always such a little fag about the president. Just be a supporter.
Well, yeah, but he is a supporter. He defends Trump on a lot of things, but he also says, like, Trump shouldn't... Maybe I think... What is one of the things he said? He does not like the way Trump handled the after Charlottesville quotes. And now that I read them like verbatim, I'm not upset about Trump saying that stuff. Like,
no.
I mean, come on. Like, just like, again, the principle has to be more important. So just like joking about girls letting you grab them by the pussy, which is hilarious, by the way.
He wasn't joking.
The joke.
Fucking serious.
But the joke is, they're so fame hungry, and I'm so rich and famous that I could do anything. It's hyperbole. I mean, I think even if it wasn't,
it's like, not okay, hyperbole.
They let you.
He's grabbed many pussies. I'm 100% sure. The best. When we first started having this debate.
But again, it goes back to he even incorporated consent into that idea, into that joke.
It isn't an idea. It's real life. It isn't some abstract concept. He wasn't joking.
Right.
He's grabbed a lot of women by the pussy, and they let him do it. Right. Some were happier than others, but all were willing. Some took $300,000 to do it.
Right.
They were still willing.
And but I can get it from my experience, and I'm sure your experience. When I try a certain approach on a girl, sometimes it's one approach, and sometimes I try that exact same approach with a different girl, and she's offended. But I needed to be tough and hard with that one, but I needed to be nice and soft and gentle with that one, or it's like some sort of like assault. You know, I don't grab bitches by the fucking pussy, but I'm saying
ask women every single time before you touch them. I can't be affiliated with this fucking podcast, man. I'm trying to be a responsible adult. You got me in here. You don't even sign consent forms and ask women to touch them?
Even 10 years ago, we were making fun of that. Don't you remember that? I think it was College Humor made this video about how stupid that idea was. And that's College Humor, who is apparently very left-wing. But College Humor made a joke about that, about like how usually you lean into the girl like 3/4 and then she kisses you back. Like you gotta make a move to show you ain't a bitch. Like, okay, are you intimidated by me? If the girl thinks you're intimidated by her, she don't want you. She'll bat you around like a cat with a mouse. But she
lucky.
doesn't want. If you're lucky, you'll get some pity sex, and she'll take you to IKEA so that you can carry the box.
Oh my God!
But,
you had that woman on this show
who
murdered her goddamn man live on the air. Oh my God! I could not fucking believe it. I was like,
wait. Are you talking about the Trump supporter? Or are you talking about the barber?
I don't know.
The one that I posted like yesterday, the newest one.
She was the business, not the barber. She was the business chick.
Yeah, she did.
She murdered that poor man.
I stuck up for him though. I mean,
it doesn't
he
matter.
wasn't here to.
That's not helping.
He wasn't.
That's a dead man. I mean, I loved her. I loved her whole shit all the way through. She was pretty based, but that's a dead man right there. Oh my God, I couldn't believe that. I don't know how. Yeah. I don't know what that looked like when he heard this. I mean, I'm sure he deals with it every day.
He's probably beat her senseless when he heard it. I know the dude, and he's not a bitch.
Fucking kill me.
But like, yeah,
He just got murdered.
But that's the thing about girls. That's what I'm saying. Like, when they hear a word, and they go off on a tangent. It doesn't matter if the word or the tangent makes sense, or it doesn't matter if the tangent makes sense. But they hear a trigger word like pant. Who wears the pants? And I wear that pants. And in a different conversation, they would say something like, I want a guy who wears that pant. Like, they just hear the word and it go off on a tangent. You know I'm right, girls.
So sexist.
You don't like each other either. Don't get
sexist.
fucking mad at me for saying this shit. You don't like girls for the same shit. You don't like girls? Come on, stop. You're like, if you could be friends with dudes without them wanting to fuck you, we're so much more fun. We laugh about farts. We fucking, we're fun. You know what I mean? Like, we get context. We can joke about all kinds of shit. You're going to lie and say that, I love hanging. Most of the women that I've talked to are like, man, I have my female friends, but like, stop. You don't like girls, dude. You know what I mean? Like, like, okay, I have my female friends, but I can't talk to that one because she's like a backstabber. Every time I go around, you don't like girls either, baby. Be honest. That's the fight of this whole fucking thing, is just be fucking real. Just be real.
That's the realest / only real thing Drake has ever said.
Here, put the mic a little closer to your face. I hate the way Drake raps. I fucking hate.
Yeah, agreed. But it's like junk food, like anything else. But when he said that the bitch is showing him pictures of her timeline of her friends just to tell him that they aren't really friends, like,
right.
That's some of the realest shit I ever heard, and it came from that guy.
You just have girlfriends so that you can take Instagram pictures together. You ever see that girl who I was driving past somebody? Like, every female I see is just like, but I was walking past somebody, I was like, I could smell, like, I could understand, who's that one? Miggs from Silence of the Lambs. I can smell your cunt.
It brought you to that creepy level, you mean?
Dude, sometimes, when it's been long enough, I'm like, I can fucking, you know what I mean? I'm a fucking piece of shit.
Because you're a rapist, born at birth.
I know, horrible,
born
man.
to rape.
I remember, actually, one time I was a little violent. Oh, man, not sexually. This is a bad transition. But, like, I was thinking about it. I've never hit a girl. Well, I've hit a girl, but, like, fine, sexually. But not, like, I've never, like, been violent with a girl, except there was one time I was with somebody who we hated each other. And she was doing this weird physical, like, tantrum thing. And, like, I, like, picked her up and put her down and, like, squeezed her. Yeah. Yeah. I think I regret that. But, like, I haven't never, like, actually hit a girl. I don't know. I've already said, like, there's only, like, one thing I won't talk about, like, on the podcast that I'll save for my spiritual advisors. Outside of that, because I don't want to be caught, dude. I don't want to be caught. Meaning...
You're never going to be on the Supreme Court. Just don't worry about that.
No one. Trust me. I'm great at singing. I'm great at music writing. I'm great at podcasts. I'm great at fucking. I'm great at all this shit. I'm never I'm not that guy. I'm not that guy who can do math. I'm not that guy who's going to be good at judge, or a fucking politician even.
Yeah,
I'm not that guy. But anyway.
Side note, I'd like to remind everyone that rather than the Russian collusion hoax you've been told, that the FBI, the Department of Justice, was weaponized against Donald Trump's campaign by the Hillary campaign under the Obama administration to take him out. And when that didn't work, Plan 2 insurance policy that they talked about was to delegitimize his presidency.
Now, what do you mean take? You don't mean kill. You mean take him out.
Take him out of the race.
Now, was that you saying when you talking about the Steele dossier, or are you talking about following him?
Steele dossier or what?
Or following him?
It's all the same shit.
Oh, it is.
It's all connected.
Okay. Now, where's the documentation for that? Because I've heard a lot of people talk about that, but where's the documentation for that?
So, documentation off top is all the people from the FBI being fired. Not just Comey. I'm talking about Strzok, McCabe, his mistress, whatever their fucking name is. All these people from these investigations not all these investigations, the Russia investigation and the what was it? The Hillary's emails and the Russia investigation. Everyone involved with those has been fired from the FBI.
Right.
For misdeeds.
Right.
That is a fact, clear as day, out there.
Okay.
These people did things fucked up enough to get fired by the government, and they were on the two biggest cases concerning Hillary and Trump.
So they were fired by Trump specifically?
No. Comey was fired by Trump. All the people from the FBI, McCabe and Strzok, they were fired by the FBI.
Okay, yeah, that's all
for what came out in the Investigator General report.
Okay, yeah. Oh, yeah, I remember that. Yeah, he teased that. Like, I've read it, but I'm not... Yeah, he didn't want to... Why doesn't he want to... Did he release it? Did he release the FISA warrant or whatever?
The declassification?
Yeah.
That's coming. I'm sure that's going to be the October surprise.
Why is he waiting for that?
He's a showman, goddammit. We are winning right now. Why would you drop it right now? We
He's
just
like
got
Kanye,
Kavanaugh
dude.
in.
Kanye is also... Again, you can... both of these guys know how to fucking be a showman. You know what I mean? Kanye knows, like, it's been about 4 days since I've been in the news.
Yeah.
Here's some shit everyone's going to be mad at. Oh, and then maybe 2 weeks later, here's an album. You know what I mean? He just does
Trump,
this shit.
Love what you're doing, Trump. Make America great again. I got the hat on. Fucking la, la, la.
Right.
By the way, really don't want you to do stop and frisk. I mean, these guys are professionals. Like, if he would have worn some socks with pigs on them and fucking took a knee and said, fuck you, president, impeach him, don't do stop and frisk, what do you think is going to work?
Right.
You know?
Right.
How long you been on this planet?
Right. But I genuinely believe, like, okay, you can... Because, by the way, have you noticed with... Again, it goes back to the principal idea. It's okay to shame someone's mental disease if they're not politically on your side. Have you noticed?
Sure. Yeah.
It's okay to say that Kanye is having some sort of bipolar disorder.
Yeah.
Like, I guess he is, maybe he is or whatever. But he's just having a fit of things. Okay, so you can criminalize his fucking behavior, right? Because you can right. Or you can slut shame Trump, or you can fat shame Trump. Like you can your principles don't mean shit if they're not more important than the personality.
And that's when you get people to admit that they don't really give a shit about those things.
About the principle at all.
Just weapons.
Yeah.
They're just weaponized principles.
It feels really good to shame people. It feels fucking great. Because then you can be superior. And I'm so insecure. I've done this in lots of different ways. I'm so insecure that I will push people down. Like, you actually met me. Apparently, I was a stand-up guy. Mm-hmm. Partially because I was a fucking douchebag. I was so
arrogant. Oh, yeah. That's a different thing. So full of yourself.
Oh no!
So full of yourself.
I'm sorry. Okay, I'm sorry. I'm trying to do better.
From the spiritual hilltop you were on, you looked down on me with such a glow that I knew it was genuine. When you reached your hand down from those clouds to shake mine, I could tell there was a good person shaking my hand.
Why hasn't anyone shot me in the face? That's why I actually one time did have somebody like 2 days in a row take off their shirt and threaten to fight me. But yeah, but anyway, I've done this because I'm so insecure that I act better than in order to establish some sort of protection against this incredibly fragile self-esteem that I have.
You're the only person I can imagine ever doing that.
Exactly. So, I mean, that's what this whole idea of, like, you know, it feels good to shame people, you know. If you're on that side, did you watch the Steven Crowder video about, do you watch any Crowder videos?
I do. I watch him from time to time. He's all right.
There's a great one he dropped. He put out recently, the Change My Mind series.
Yeah.
It's, There Is No Such Thing as Rape Culture.
I watched the intro to that.
Oh my!
And my friend
God,
started
dude.
having a fit, so I was like, I'll watch this later.
Right. It's a great video, because even though there's a lot of feelings, and again, this is a different example, and don't get all pissy. I know you will already. I mean, by this point, you would have stopped listening, or you're adult enough to listen. But wait, I'm just shaming them into listening to my to listen to my podcast. Conservative Patreon. But like when my dad or my mom disciplined me or said I couldn't have something, and I cried, or when I would feel those legit, I don't believe a kid who's crying and throwing a tantrum like a fucking baby, right? A baby thinks that it really is the end of the world and something is wrong and this is true and something needs to happen. A baby really, but 2 seconds later something else is like, oh, here's keys, or, you know, oh, here's a titty so you can be fed, or right? That baby gets things fixed. But anyway, if the mom or the dad lived at the sway of those legitimate feelings, the baby would be dead very quickly. It's our responsibility as adults, people who think logically, men, to be men. And to go like, no, I know, I hear what you're saying. I hear your feelings. I respect your feelings.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
We're still going to do like this, or this is still, that's not true, right? Even from my personal experience, I had a friend call me the other day, and I haven't been in a relationship in a while, luckily, but like I had a friend call me the other day, and she just needed someone to just talk at for a half hour. And I'm like, oh, okay, this is what that is. Because my logical brain, which is, again, we need both sides, but my logical brain says, I want to fix this. Because I remember being in a relationship, and I remember like her complaining about the guy at work, or complaining about this, or crying, or whatever. I'm like, well, why don't you... Girls don't want a logical explanation about what to do. They want you to understand and comfort them and say, yeah, fuck that bitch. They want you to hear them. That's it, right? So then outside of a relationship, females, you're saying that that's now different? Like those girls, that girl, especially the first girl in that video, when she's going ballistic and crying and can't even believe that this guy has the nerve to not just make a sign, but to believe something different.
Right.
Again, mama, your feelings are valid. I'm not saying you're a piece of shit. I'm not saying that rape isn't the fucking worst thing in the world. I'm not saying that we shouldn't absolutely criminalize and criminalize, it's already criminal, but like persecute motherfuckers who rape, motherfuckers who sexually assault, motherfuckers who drug, motherfuckers. Let's fucking goddamn get them. But just because you feel, again, it goes to that idea of how to deal with this. It's just the style. Like I want to, like logically, we should not believe all women, because that's logical. I know you want to feel like it's, well, but I don't want anyone to get lost in the dust. I don't want anyone. Yeah, that's an important feeling. I understand that. And there has been times where we haven't believed a fucking soul. I get that. Where like you could beat the shit out of your wife, ain't nothing she could goddamn do. Right?
Oh yeah, there's places in the Middle East right now.
But they have brown skin, Mark. That's okay. But
kind of get some of that.
But I understand the pendulum is swinging, and your feelings are valid, ladies. But like, No. Like, logically, it's the same. It's that baby thing. Like, sorry, I know you feel this, but it's not necessarily true just because you feel it. I hear you, but it's not true. That bitch at work is not actually against you. She's just a bitch. Or maybe she is. Maybe she is. But if we let you go off on your feelings, you would leave the fucking job. Or you would just find somebody else to complain about. Every female I've ever known knows somebody at work who's out to get her. Oh. You know what I mean? So take yourself with just a tiny grain of salt. I know you went through something shitty. I know females, again, I don't feel like I would ever want to be a female. Even though y'all have sexual power to just string guys along and to fucking manipulate us and, you know, like Tim Kennedy talked about, you know, Tim Kennedy, the Army guy, Army Special Forces. He said, you know, one of the things he said as an example of female power, because even though you have a vagina, yes, you have your own version of privilege. He would go into, he could spend 3 months or a month at a bar trying to blend in and get intel to use against the other opposing, but it would take a month of him speaking Spanish and trying to blend in and trying to blah, blah, blah. A girl could go in there in an hour and fucking immediately get, contacts all you need? Yeah, or flirt a little bit, bitch. Stop.
Dude,
you know what I mean?
The new James O'Keefe video?
No, it's James O'Keefe.
James O'Keefe he's pretty clown, but he got famous for...
I don't know the adjective clown. What does it mean?
he's like I don't know. I really don't want to disrespect him because he's just coming out better and better. Okay. He got famous going into the Acorn Organizing Center dressed up as like a comical pimp, like Halloween costume pimp.
Acorn. What's Acorn?
Acorn was some community organizing, some left-wing group. But he went in as this comically dressed pimp with a chick with him, and he did like undercover investigative journalism, you know, but just dressed like a fucking clown. And he ended up getting people fired, you know, and he ended up making a pretty big stink. And people say that he edits his videos weird and he's a cornball, which he kind of is. Okay. But he just dropped the video. I think it's the Tennessee race for Senate, I believe. Okay. And you got Marsha, the Trump pick, and you got the other dude who's a Democrat. Now, when the whole Kavanaugh thing was going on, the Democrat dude did this whole commercial. He's like, look, I would have voted for Kavanaugh, you know? I'm a Democrat, but I would have voted for Kavanaugh if I was there, you know? Right. Nobody worry, you know? Like, Chuck Schumer, I don't even like Chuck Schumer, you know? I'm my own man. I'm a Democrat, but I would have voted for Kavanaugh. I'm here with the people, you know? Okay. So James O'Keefe he only uses women now, right? He sends these women in with cameras to infiltrate, and this whole campaign center of all of his staff just spill the beans over and over and over again. She barely has to like say a word, and they're like, "Oh yeah, he just says this. We don't know why he's saying this. He's just saying this to get his poll numbers up. He'll be a good Democrat when he gets into office." Wow. Like cut and dry, right. Multiple people, right. Multiple situations, right. And this woman, I mean, she couldn't have been working on the campaign for very long. Right. This just happened. But you just send a woman in there unassuming, and yeah, just like you say about Intel, she soaked up all this info.
She doesn't even, I'm sorry, it's not even about hotness either. Like, she could be a 6 and get it done, a 5 and get it done. She isn't gonna, I mean, yes, it's faster or more fun if she has, like, plunging neckline and, you know, and she's a fucking, you know, delicious little James fucking, Bond movie, you know, yeah. Blonde or whatever. But, like, you know, she doesn't even have just the knowledge. That's why girls, you don't understand. Like, even if I wasn't wearing anything strange, and yet that guy still whistled at me like I was in running pants. Oh my God, I was sweating and I hadn't showered all day. It doesn't matter. You exist. That's why. Because you exist, and we know that you're a vagina. Like, I'm sorry, you know, or you have one. Whatever.
I've never experienced the kickback like that, so I don't ever connect with it. Like, I watched some YouTube videos of, like, just fucking raging feminists that, you know, don't look at me, but I've never seen this in real life. Most women I know are pretty based. I'm from the Bay, and most women I know are pretty based. Right.
Oh yeah, like I've heard, like I'll hold up open a door and I've heard multiple people, either it's a joke or I've heard other people say that they have held open doors and have had females go, why? Because I can't. I've never had that happen.
No.
I always hold up. Yeah, it's cool.
Squeezed asses, fucking, done all kinds of things that I hear.
You mean just like at the bar?
Just out and about, living life.
What are you talking about? You mean like when you're talking to them, or like just walking by? What are you talking about?
I don't believe half this shit that I see on YouTube videos and that conservatives waste so much time talking about. Like, oh, fucking no more catcalling on the streets. Like,
I saw there was a website like that was like. I mean, I had an ex who told me that she was uncomfortable with catcalling. You know what I mean? Like, I've noticed though, like she wasn't like uncomfortable. Like, it wasn't like, I think there was one or two times where like the guys would like, holla, and then like would like, screech up the car, like scare her or something. Like, yeah. There's a fucking line, right? But then I was at Tourette's Without Regrets, and one time, the fucking leader of that whole Tourette's Without Regrets, have you heard of it? I talked about it on the show.
From you, yeah.
Yeah. So anyway, the guy over there who's the leader over there, he's a director, super left wing, but not overly vocal about it. I mean, his shit on the show says you will get offended, so like he can't be that left wing. He's just posturing or something. But he did this video for this girl. He did this video where like he directs and stuff, and one of the videos he directed was a gal's eye view of like her walking through the day, and she walks through the day, and this guy catcalls, and then she like, and it's from her eye view, the whole short video. And she like pulls a gun on him and like, puts him into like, he's tied up, with like thing in her mouth or in his mouth. You know what I mean? She's going to get revenge. Yeah. Now I'm going to give you a little background on this. Apparently, again, it's all fantasy. Yeah. But like, I'm going to give you a little background on this. The female in the video has tits so big, not good looking tits, but the fat, like overweight tits that hang down. So it was from her point of view, you couldn't see her nipples because they hang down and curve down. Right. So her nipples were pointing down straight. Yeah. Which tells me, the discernible viewer of this video, she is not cute. She also wakes up, no shower, and smokes a bowl immediately, which tells me, the discerning viewer, she has no goals. So she's not hot. And she has no goals.
Wait, she did this in the video, you mean?
In the video.
Yeah.
Because, it's funny, and I get it. You're making some sort of like hey, I'm pro-weed, and I'm pro, get rid of this evil, blah, blah, blah. But, like, I was watching this video, I was like, no piece of me would ever see this person as a hot person. I guarantee she was not hot. Okay. She's not a viable candidate for a partner, or even a fuck buddy.
You're saying there's this somewhat standard vision of beauty, is what you're saying. It's a somewhat accepted vision of beauty.
No, I'm saying they intentionally made believe that didn't exist. What I mean is, the girls who complain the most about catcalling are not attractive.
Gotcha.
This girl in this video, and again, this is fantasy. They could have gone any direction.
Yeah.
Wolf could have gotten anybody. Wolf is the guy's name. I can't remember his first name. It was something Wolf. Anyway, he's like, he has access to all kinds of fine broad actors to hey, hop in this video, I'll give you $50, blah, blah, blah. He intentionally chose some fat, childish 20-something who's not fuckable to be in this fantasy video about revenge on a catcaller. Like, she gets up, smokes a bowl, which you're just like, either an alcoholic, you're an addict, or you're just a boring fucking childish 20-year-old. Smokes a bowl and then doesn't shower, just rinses her face. So ew, nasty pussy smell. Dressed in all kinds of like pajama pants. Great, that's gonna do great for your unwashed pussy. That's gonna make it smell even better. And you're gonna just walk to the store to get some fucking hot Cheetos. You're not fuckable, baby girl. You're not fuckable. And yet that is your vision, Mr. Wolf. That is your vision of, I'm gonna get revenge on the catcaller. At least make it something interesting. At least make it a hot chick. Stop. Stop. You know what I'm saying?
Why? Why do you think?
I feel like the guy wants to make it, first things first, a girl who understands, like, okay, I'm against, like, legit ass, like, scare the girl catcalling. Like, don't be a fucking asshole. Don't be scaring the girl.
Catcalling at that point.
But saying, right, exactly. It's no longer, thank you. It's no longer catcalling. But say, hey, baby, you look great. Or, hey, Like, that's, I'm sorry, I know females who love that. I know females who appreciate it. I know females who say, I need it. I know, so, okay, again, it goes back to the abortion thing, too. Like, some females are against abortion. So why are we going to say it's a female issue? You're either with women all the way, or you're against us. Wait, but some of you believe different things.
So therefore they don't count.
Anyway, females, you understand what I'm saying? I'm not saying that it's okay to fucking follow you. I'm just saying, like, be honest. I'm just saying, be honest. Whatever Wolf is named, to have this fucking frumpy, annoying, childish female who has no fucking drive, and that's your fantasy of I'm gonna get revenge on the fucking catcaller?
Ugly
Grow
women
up.
really bother you. Ugly women really bother Pete. I can't believe it.
Here's why it bothers me.
Who hurt you, man?
Here's why it bothers me.
Yeah.
The ugliness doesn't bother me. The ugliness, and I'm so and the ugly girl being so insecure that she's going to go the opposite direction and go like, "Well, fuck it, I'm going to complain about catcalling." No one catcalls you, girl. No one does. I'm not an ugly girl going, I'm not going to sleep with you right on the first, like.
So what you're saying is, where's all the beautiful feminists? That's what you're telling me, right?
Yeah, sure, too. Yeah, that too. But, like, how about a little fucking gratitude? Here's what it is. As a fat guy, I've lost a lot of weight. I look fucking delicious.
Great. Yeah.
But.
Good job, man.
But, even throughout my time being a fat guy, I understood who I was. And I could talk my way into some pussy like anybody. I can be other versions of sexy. I don't walk into a room sexy automatically. I have to kind of sing, or I have to talk, or I have to rap, or I got to do blah, 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 blah. Yeah. Right? I got to have a certain dress. Right? I do things to balance out and to make myself more attractive. But a fucking ugly chick, frumpy chick, who doesn't even fucking wash her puss, that she doesn't, there's such... The grossness of, not even the physicalness, the grossness of, I'm not even going to try, and you have to just automatically, obviously, every guy wants to fuck me, to the point where guys are hollering at me. Grow up, dude. There's just a dishonesty. My problem is the dishonesty. My problem is you're not even fucking trying.
Oh, I kind of do have a fucking story. I just saw, it was a side Kavanaugh debate where I shot off a couple of Ford's lies to somebody, you know.
This is online?
This is Facebook. And I got like a little side comment from some fucking colored hair bitch, you know.
Right.
Blue haired bitch type of deal.
Right. Who's lonely, by the way. Those girls are either lonely or in a relationship with a fucking
fabulous,
soy boy,
which
means she's also lonely.
So, whatever. Fucking she sets off a little comment. I don't even respond. I end up using her comment to shut down this other fucking beezy that joined in later on. But I don't directly respond because it might as well be a Russian bot talking to me. It's just saying the same things over and over, you know?
Right.
So, anyways, that chick posts later, fucking look at this, guys. This guy slid into my messenger. I don't even know him. I added him because we have mutuals, and I mean... Why not add a complete stranger just because we have mutual friends? If I'm so fucking concerned with my personal safety,
right.
If men are trying to rape me at every chance,
right.
Why would I not just let random people in? Red flag. But whatever. This guy sends her a fucking request. She accepts a complete stranger.
Is she talking about you or somebody else?
No, this is some random dude. She put his fucking face, phone number, and, screen name up. This guy just slid in my DMs. He's fucking being weird and creepy. He's trying to call me from blocked numbers. Like, I don't know how much of this shit is really happening, you know? Like, from the messages, he was like, you know, hey, what's up? You know, like, what's going on, you know?
Creepy. Yeah.
She responds to him. Who the fuck are you? What do you know, like, just engaging in the conversation, you know? Right. You invite a stranger into your Facebook. You engage in a conversation when he's obviously being off his rocker, you know?
Right.
Hey, what's up? What are you doing? Hey, you're cute. You know, like after 18 of those texts.
He's jerking off and he can't stop himself. Yeah.
You don't respond. She responds, you know, antagonizing him, responds, then suddenly cuts contact. She must have had her phone number listed on her Facebook, right? Because he's calling her from an unlisted number.
That's no good.
So now she's bitching about getting calls from him because he keeps calling. It's like, it's obvious. And okay, and the main point of all this is she's fucking, what did one of your guests say? The curvy movement, right? She would try and claim curvy.
Right.
She is slightly fat, you know? She's round, she's large. She's not super attractive, you know?
Right.
But she's like, she's that new generation where hella makeup, fucking femme power, glamorous. I'm with the shit. That part of it, you know, like, shit, live it up. Do you. Be the best you could be, you know, be fabulous.
Right.
But it's the added bitch feminine power part, you know, like, she probably says she's part lesbian, but it's like, she had to let a complete stranger man into her Facebook.
Right.
She had to engage with that strange man after he was repeatedly acting. Just delete, you know, like if any fucking bitch hit me up like that before I even have a chance to respond,
right.
You're done before we start. She had to engage with that.
Right.
She had to have enough personal info that she now made vulnerable for him to call her.
Right.
So she can turn around and blast it on Facebook like she's some fucking victim who just got raped by the evil male patriarchy.
Right.
Just like, no. You had to make all of that happen.
Right. I don't know any mature woman who doesn't know how to say no to a motherfucker. Now, obviously, sometimes it doesn't work, and I apologize on behalf of the dudes who don't take a no.
Sure.
But you know how to say no, right? Anytime, you know, the females that I respect that I know would be like, you know what I mean? Like, delete. Yeah. And not just that, but they've had experience enough and they're mature enough to know if you have a stalking guy, this is a life lesson for any of those out there who have never had any creepy ass stalkers, female, male, whatever, any creepy ex-boyfriends or ex-girlfriends. As soon as they text you, do not text them back. Even to say, don't text me.
Don't text me back.
Don't answer the fucking, just don't let any foot in the door. They're looking for a foot in the door.
Yeah.
And as soon as you give it to them, they're going to capitalize it on it. But how old was this person?
She's got to be in her 20s, but I'm thinking that late
so that's
20s.
Old enough to know. That's old enough to know.
Oh,
older than 18 is old enough to know.
Any engagement equals interest from a woman. Any interaction.
Right.
I mean, you talked about women knowing how to say no. The women I know how to never let it get that fucking far.
Right.
You know?
Right.
90% of the time, it's just like a.
I was feeling that earlier. I know I'm, you know, and maybe this is just, you know, again, I'm not trying to be a cunt. I swear to God. Mm-hmm. But like I can feel like the looks from girls, like more I'm like, oh shit.
Oh,
like,
with the lost weight?
Yeah.
Man.
And with the fucking, you know, new clothes.
I'm
feeling myself right now. Yeah. But like, so I'm feeling it like, and then I was like not feeling it from this one girl who I was like, mathematically, I'm like, there's no reason why she shouldn't, you know. And then I found out today she's got a boyfriend. I'm like, oh, okay. And here's the thing, girls. When you've got a boyfriend or a husband and you're actually into him, because there's a difference. Oh, yeah. Have you ever been the side man? Oh, it's so much great. I love it. But anyway,
yeah.
You know from your experience when you're not getting nothing back from a girl. And you're like, because I was not getting anything back, and I'm like, oh, I wonder. And then I found out, I'm not saying I'm so attractive that every female who's single gives me attention. I'm not saying that. I'm saying mathematically, it made sense that she would. I'm like, we're the only attractive people in the room. She's not gay, like, and I'm saying like good stuff. Like, this is interesting. Like, I wonder. And I'm not saying I didn't make any move. I'm not saying like my heart was set on her.
Right.
But I'm like, oh, okay, that makes sense. Yeah, she's got a boyfriend. That's why I wasn't feeling it. So, like, when, like you're saying, there are girls who, like, wouldn't even let it get. There are some females, you know from your experience, who don't even have the energy of, I can be fucked by anybody else. You know what I mean? Like, who, like, I wonder, like, I know in my head she's hot, but like there's nothing about her that says she's available.
Right.
Because there's an energy that you put out.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
It's not happening.
It's not happening. It's an interesting subconscious shit, like where like guys don't have that ability.
There's a lot at play. Yeah.
Right. I'm just always available.
Have you available for sex?
Yeah. Well, yeah.
We don't.
Even when I love, like, and I promise I'm not going to, like, you know.
Sex is not what we provide. No. You know, it's not our job here.
Right.
The most interesting thing with women with me is those menstrual studies, where it's like the alpha beta mix before and after the period, where right before and they're most fertile, you really want to like keep your girl around you, you know, like not let her go to the club. Like there's like a 62%, I don't know the exact thing, but it's way more likely if your woman is going to cheat on you, it will be during that 1 week period pre-estrus, where her shit is
serious?
I swear to God.
But if you have your girl's mind, I mean, you know what I mean? Like, then you don't have to worry about it. I understand what you're saying. I'm putting it out there.
Yeah. I'm not trying to strike fear into the heart of every man. I am. But there's a biological reaction where more flirty, more open,
right.
Shorter skirts.
Right.
For that first week. And the week after is the exact opposite.
Right.
And it's like just cuddles and couch time and fucking, you know.
Right. Pimples.
Yeah.
Pajama pants.
Yeah.
Right.
Every single month women go through this. It's got to be fucked up, you know? Like,
right.
Women have it so hard. I would never say they don't.
Right.
Women do not automatically get believed, especially about rape when you're trying to destroy a man. I'm sorry.
Right.
It's not going to fucking happen.
Right.
They don't get to be placed into positions of power because they're a woman.
Right.
It's fucked up. It's
and
not
I love
right.
And I love women. I mean, you know, like, I mean, it changes many times. But like when I'm in the mood, you know, I love women. I fucking adore you people.
I love women. I want something from them. That's what you just said.
Or I'm getting something
That's
from
what
it.
you said.
Or you know, when I'm texting with like 3 or 4 girls, I'm like, I love women.
Yeah.
But I mean, even that, like, you know, I don't know, man. I just and also I think we should start wrapping up. Probably it's been 3 hours and 5 minutes.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
God, there's nobody listening at this point.
I think there are.
I don't think
people
we've
for
said
some reason
one solid thing this entire time.
I don't. You know what? No, I disagree with you. I think I fucking adored this goddamn podcast.
All right.
I'm telling you right now.
All right, you are the professional.
Yes,
I don't leave the house or talk to anyone, so what the fuck do I know? Really?
Right.
I want to say, anyone that's interested in Trump, let alone if you're a supporter, if you're not on the Donald on Reddit is r/the_Donald. All you gotta look up is r/the_Donald on Reddit. It's the best place for pro-Trump shit. It's memes, it's news, it's information. It's just a rally all the time. There's no bullshit. There's no fucking... It's not a place for debates. It's a place to go and see all the positives of our president and celebrate with people if that's your thing, or sit crying looking at it, you know, if that's your thing.
But obviously the rules are no gays and no Mexicans and no blacks,
obviously,
right? Yeah,
obviously.
Of course.
They will send ICE to your house. If you are illegal and you look at the Donald on your computer, they will actually send ICE to your house. But really, I mean, I've had more fun on Reddit on this place called the Donald. It's been so much fun. I mean, with all the shit that goes on, you miss so much of it, and I would urge everyone to check it out. Haters and lovers alike. It's the only place that's just a full celebration of our president, and even if you disagree with everything, you can see what some people are dealing with.
See, and that's it. It weirds me out a little bit. Not weirds me out, but it's sad that you guys have to go underground like that. You can't just be
underground. It's right there in the open.
No, it's not, because anonymous. Yeah, it's in the open.
Oh, got you.
You can't be at fucking McDonald's with a fucking MAGA hat.
Gotcha.
You can't go to a fucking rally without people taking pictures of you or video.
Yeah,
like,
I'm out there. I got my California version that's like solid red, you know. The 45 is in red, as same as the hat, you know?
Really?
Yeah.
Nice. But, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, we're like, and not just that, but when it's sequestered like that, there is a higher chance, correct me, I may be wrong, but there is a higher chance that you're only getting positives instead of negatives as well.
Oh, yeah. Which isn't, it's not a concern because anyone that wants negatives or to debate can go to literally anywhere else in the world right now. Right. The fact there's a pro-Trump place has just been, it's just needed. It's been great for me politically to be there. I urge everyone to check it out.
Right. That's why, like, all the you know, pounding the drum about Fox News being fair and balanced. No, they're not fair and balanced.
Yeah.
I mean, you can't. That's one of the good things about this whole last 2 years is you can no longer say that CNN and MSNBC are fair and balanced.
You cannot.
You can now say, okay, nobody is.
Yeah. I mean, fuck Fox News. Reddit is great because there'll be a Fox News article, but then there'll be 1,000 people in the comments just ripping apart everything that needs to be ripped apart. It's great.
Okay.
Also, you need an intro song.
What?
You need some kind of intro, recognizable. How the fuck are you branding yourself?
With the name? What do you mean?
You need like a ringtone. You need a song. If only you knew a musician somehow, you know? You need some way to start this shit off where it's like, oh, there's that sound. This is that Pete. This is that conservative.
Rogan doesn't do that. He ends it with a song, but he doesn't start with it.
Oh, now you're Rogan now? That's how that works?
I mean, a piece of me wants to be. But that's the thing, too, is that
intro.
I am noticing the longer I do this, is like, and I was listening to, I think it was Jocko Willink and Rogan talk about some shit, and like how it takes a while to find your voice. And I think I'm starting to realize, like, yeah, I don't want to do all that, and I don't want to do all that. I'm certainly not Rogan. I'm certainly not anybody else. I'm certainly myself. But it does take some time to realize, okay, like, what is legit me? You know what I mean? And not politically, not the content. I'm saying the actual, the voice itself. You know what I mean? Like, what is
Your voice is so good, man.
No, I don't.
When you told me you're doing a podcast, I was like, hell yeah.
But I mean, my intellectual voice, my, like, what I want to do with the podcast.
Yeah.
But it is, and there were more listens today than there ever has been, which is cool. But it's still not tons, you know what I mean? It's still a struggle, and I feel like, okay, fuck, you know, keep slogging along, keep doing it. And it's supposed to be difficult, you know, otherwise it wouldn't be valuable. So, you know, fuck it. But, you know, if you guys want to help out there, go to patreon.com/conservatish. You know, give me a review on iTunes or what?
Go ahead, do your plugs. I didn't mean to interrupt.
No. And on the Patreon, not only can you support, but you also get little. So once a month, I'm going to be posting a cover song that only you get access to if you donate 10 or more.
Nice.
If you donate 20 or more, you get to ask me questions, and I'll answer them on the podcast. For now, until I get so many emails that I just have to shut it down.
Hire somebody.
Dude, do you know, that's what I'm saying. I need a fucking Jamie in this bitch. Like, I need somebody else to do the promotion, the production. I don't want to fucking sit. My back is hurting. You know what I mean? And then I have to sit there for like an hour and like come up with like a funny line or a funny promotion and then post it. And then it gets fucking, you know, okay, yeah, I'm getting more traction. But it's like fucking, ugh. Anyway.
Bitch. And a Discord. You need a Discord channel.
What? See, this is what these motherfuckers. What Discord is like a live.
It's like a chat room. It's like a private chat room.
But then I'm live. Then I would have to do the podcast live, wouldn't I?
You wouldn't have to do it live. I mean, you're not Scott Adams. I don't know how the fuck he does that. Where he's on Periscope, reading people's comments and spitting his spiel. But the thing is about a Discord is it's just a private little chat room where people can log in from wherever they are, and it can just be the Conservatish Discord server. And they can discuss everything that have been on your shows currently, past. It's just a place to hold these discussions. Because Facebook is dead as fuck. I don't know if you noticed.
Yeah.
It's going to be dead very soon.
Yeah.
It's over.
That's true. I can't even reach the people who reach me.
It's fucking over. They've been showing me 12 people for like a year and a half now. I really like those 12 people, you know, so I've been rolling with it. But there's thousands of people on my friends list. I see 12 people, you know, like. Whatever they've done is just retarded. No one goes on anymore.
Right.
It's a dead media.
Right.
Discord is where chats can happen. There's emojis. Discord is the shit.
You can fight with me. You can agree with
yeah.
me. Or at least if I post something, you'll see it.
You see who's live. You'd be like, oh shit, Pete's in here right now. Bah, 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 bah. You know? Or
okay.
Who was that dude that was on there yesterday? I hate him, you know?
Right. Or here's where he was wrong.
Bring him to the Discord. Yeah. I want to personally dress him down. You know? It's a great
okay.
format.
All right.
Because this is all about discussion, you know?
Discord?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Facebook is dead, man. Nothing but boomers and grandmas.
Right. All right, boys and girls. Do you have anything to plug? I doubt you do. I guess besides the Reddit.
Yeah, I would urge everyone to check out the Donald. There's no other place like it. And, no.
All right.
This was cool. Thanks for having me
Thank you for having.
Always support what you do, man. I love how you do what you do.
Thank you very much. Album's coming soon. I'm about 80% done with it. Going to be doing more editing tomorrow morning, and mixing and all that bullshit. And then actually after tomorrow, all of the GoFundMe money is gone from the campaign. So
nice.
Yeah, because it's been very expensive. But it's going to be worth it, but it is going to be a little slower on the progress then. Or go to my Patreon and help out. But, I'm going to New York next month to go test the waters and see if that might be a better fit for me than out here. And,
yeah, look at you.
We'll see what happens. But in general, I'm excited. There's more good shit happening, and share the podcast, review the podcast, help,
I gotta review
contribute it. and share me on the Donald of Reddit. All right, boys and girls, I love you all very much, and I'm sorry, girls. I love you very much. Fight me. All right, I'll talk to you guys later.
See ya.